Chapter 28. He wants to fuck you. You ordered so much, can you finish it? When the barbecue was brought over, Tang Xia was shocked by what she saw. It was a huge pot full of food. How many people could finish it? It's okay. The night is long, just the right time to make your belly bigger. Lin Yi picked up a skewer of barbecue and started eating it. Hate it, bullying me again. Tang Xia didn't understand at first, but after she understood, she screamed and her face turned extremely red. How did I bully you? Tell me, how did I bully you? Lin Yi was puzzled. You do have it, don't think I don't know what you mean by making my belly bigger. Tang Xia said this angrily, puffing out her little chest like a cute little rooster and crowed loudly, which was very cute. Girl, you think too much. What I mean is, what are you thinking about using these barbecues to fill your stomach? You have a dirty mind. Tell me, do you have any bad thoughts? Lin Yi rolled his eyes. I don't have that idea. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why did you order so many leeks? After hearing what Lin Yi said, Tang Xia's face turned even redder. She knew that she had fallen into Lin Yi's trap and became that dirty girl. Leeks? Don't I like eating green vegetables? Lin Yi picked up a bunch of leeks and started to eat them with a sly smile on his face. You? Tang Xia wanted to speak more but was interrupted by a voice. Little girl, leeks are men's favorite. Not only can they enhance men's sexual desire, but they can also greatly increase men's sexual desire. A loud voice sounded behind Tang Xia. Tang Xia was shocked, her eyes widened, and her heart was beating like a deer. The teacher often said that boys outside like to take girls out for supper, and as a result, something goes wrong while eating. Could it be that? Lin Yi is also like those boys, taking me out for supper and then going to get a room. Isn't that a bit too fast? However, Tang Xia immediately felt that there was something wrong with the voice. She turned her head slightly and saw a tall and mighty man leading a group of young men. There were at least 20 or 30 of them, and each of them was holding either a knife or a steel pipe in their hands. They surrounded her and Lin Yi. Then the big guy sat down next to them, grabbed a bunch of leeks and started eating them. Little sister, let me tell you, this guy wants to have sex with you. Hu Chu looked at Tang Xia with an evil smile. Real. Tang Xia's eyes lit up, with anticipation, excitement, and a bit of fear in them. Hu Chu was nearly choked to death by the chili pepper. You really scolded the guy next door. I said he wanted to have sex with you, and you were actually excited. What kind of logic is this? Boss. When the younger brothers saw this, they quickly brought beer over. Scold the balls. Hu Chu took a big sip of beer and was completely furious. He felt that his life had suffered a huge trauma. Someone, take this little girl away from me. As for this boy, cripple him for me. Hu Chu slammed the table, stood up suddenly and said angrily. Yes, boss. The younger brothers rushed over together. Don't come over here. I won't let you hurt him. I'll call the police. Unexpectedly, before Lin Yi could take any action, Tang Xia stood up, her little face red, eyes full of fear, and her hands open to block Lin Yi. From the looks of it, he was determined to protect Lin Yi. Lin Yi was stunned when he saw this. He could see that this girl was very timid and kind, but where did she get the courage from at this time? Oh, little sister, you are so brave. Call the police? You are going to call? Tell your brother. Let me tell you, let alone the police, even if the King of Heaven comes, I have the final say in my territory. Hu Chu said in a very arrogant manner. Har, little sister, you are new here, right? You haven't even heard of Brother Hutu. Do you know who is in charge of your Yuncheng High School's territory? It's Brother Hutu. You're right. You're courting death by calling the police on Brother Tiger's territory. Hu Chu's group of younger brothers all burst into laughter. Brother Hutu. It's Brother Hutu, let's go. Brother Tiger, the boss of High School City. He wouldn't want to kill anyone, would he? That kid is dead. He has offended Brother Tiger Head. What's the difference between this and seeking death? As soon as this name came out, the owners of the surrounding night snack stalls and the people who were just watching the fun all turned around and ran away, fearing that they would be affected. Brother Tiger. Tang Xia's face turned pale. As a student of Yuncheng High School, I have naturally heard of Brother Hutu, the boss of the high school city. He manages more than a dozen places, has hundreds of subordinates, and even has guns in his hands. He is very fierce. In the past, there was a very arrogant student in the school who once said that if he didn't kill Brother Tiger Head, he would never be able to make it. As a result, the next day, the student's hands were chopped off, and even the police didn't care about the matter because they couldn't afford to do anything about it. But who knew that Brother Hutu would find them today and wanted to take her away and kill Lin Yi? Lin Yi is so handsome, sings so well, is humorous, and has a good figure. What if they ruin him? Send the little sister away. She belongs to Master Feng. We can't hurt her. As for this kid. He. Hu Chu smiled evilly and his eyes shifted to Lin Yi. This boy is indeed good looking, but unfortunately, he is not interested in this trick. He only knows that this boy has offended Master Feng and must be eliminated. Otherwise, Master Feng will not be able to sleep. Boss, we know what to do. The two younger brothers came over with a wicked grin, stretched out their hands and grabbed Tang Xia's shoulders, with an evil smile in their eyes. Facing the two hands grabbing her, Tang Xia came to her senses and screamed, as if she had fallen into the clutches of these people. But, when this scene was about to happen, Tang Xia heard two snapping sounds, and the two hands that were originally grabbing her shoulders suddenly fell vertically and deformed like a twist, as if they were hit by some gravity. My hand. No. Boss, my hand is broken. Immediately afterwards, two shrill screams came from the mouths of the two younger brothers. They stepped back, covered their hands, and screamed loudly. What? Brother Hu was shocked. He arranged for his subordinate to arrest someone, but the subordinate got injured. Who did it? Chapter 29, The handsome guy who knows Kung Fu is really scary. Isn't it too much for a group of grown men to bully a girl? When Brother Hu looked over, he heard a man's voice coming from behind Tang Xia. The voice was very nice. Who else could it be but the man he was going to cripple? He was originally a person who was about to be abandoned. Now, they actually dared to attack his people? Not only was he shocked, but Tang Xia was also surprised and couldn't help but turn around to look at Lin Yi. Could it be? Could it be that the one who just attacked those two hooligans was Lin Yi? Lin Yi looks like a weak scholar. Apart from having a good figure, a nice voice, singing skills and being handsome, he doesn't look like someone who can fight at all, right? But what happened just now? Boy, were you the one who did it just now? Brother Hu pointed at Lin Yi and roared with murderous intent in his eyes. Yes, that's me. Lin Yi put his hand on Tang Xia's shoulder, took a step forward, and looked at Brother Hu provocatively. Watching Lin Yi put his hand on her shoulder and take a step forward, Tang Xia felt very warm and safe in her heart. She knew that this was her true Prince Charming. Not only is he good looking, he also sings beautifully and has a great figure, but also, he can protect girls. Isn't this the boy I'm waiting for? Very good, very good. I have to say, you are the most arrogant person I have ever seen. Do you know what the fate of those who act arrogantly in front of me is? Let me tell you, they are unable to live or die. Brother Hu was furious. I told him he was quite courageous, but he became even bolder. If he didn't tear this guy into pieces today, how would he survive in the future? Then I'm sorry, I guess today is an exception. Lin Yi spread his hands and said with a helpless expression. What the hell did you say? Brother Hu was so angry that he was about to spit blood. I have threatened you like this, but you are still so arrogant. I said, I don't take you seriously, understand? Lin Yi's face revealed a hint of ferocity, and he said with disgust. You son of a bitch, I'm going to kill you. Lord Tiger couldn't bear it any longer. If he continued like this, he would be pissed off to death by this kid. Without saying a word, he grabbed a steel pipe from the hand of a younger brother next to him and smashed it at Lin Yi. Lin Yi, be careful. Tang Xia was frightened by Tiger Lord's actions, so she shouted at Lin Yi, but before she finished shouting, the steel pipe had already fallen on Lin Yi's head. When Tang Xia thought that Lin Yi was about to be bleeding from the head, a terrible scene happened. Lin Yi waved his hand and slapped her in the face, and the slap landed on the iron pipe. Clang. Puff. Boom. First there was the sharp sound of steel colliding, then the sound of blood, and then the sound of a heavy object hitting the ground. These three sounds rang out at the same time. When Tang Xia looked at it carefully, her mouth formed an O shape and her eyes became so big that it was a little scary. However, what he saw was not Lin Yi falling down covered in blood, but Brother Hu beat Lin Yi, crashed to the ground with blood all over his head and face, his body twitching, his eyes rolling back, his lips trembling, just like a car accident scene. As for the steel pipe he used to beat Lin Yi, it was now bent beyond recognition and thrown aside like a twist. You know, this steel pipe is a natural gas steel pipe, which is several centimeters thick. If it is hit by a stick, even if it doesn't kill a person, it can at least cause a concussion. But what happened in front of him? Lin Yi slapped Brother Hu. Not only did he bend the steel pipe in his hand, but he also made Brother Hu look like he was in a car accident. How much strength does it take to do this? Could it be that Lin Yi knows Kung Fu? This. Brother Hu's group of younger brothers were originally planning to rush up and attack, but after seeing Brother Hu's look, they immediately stopped. Although they are street thugs, they are not stupid, right? The other party slapped the steel pipe with one slap, and beat Brother Hu into a car accident scene. Is this something they can afford to provoke? You actually dared to hit Brother Tiger. Do you know who Brother Tiger is? Do you know who is the power behind him? A brave younger brother looked at Brother Hu was unconscious on the ground, then looked at Lin Yi, and spoke in a threatening tone. Tell me, who is the force behind you? Lin Yi looked at the younger brother with a little interest. Listen carefully, don't get scared when the time comes. The power behind Brother Hu is the Feng family. You stole young Master Feng's woman and beat Brother Hu like this. You are finished. You are completely finished. Seeing that Lin Yi showed a hint of hesitation, the younger brother went even further and threatened him with a louder tone, gritting his teeth. Par. Lin Yi waved his hand and slapped the younger brother. As a result, before the younger brother could finish his words, his body flew backwards for 5 meters before stopping. After stopping, it was like a car accident scene. Run. When the other brothers saw this, they were so scared that their legs went weak and they ran away. Stop. Lin Yi shouted. Brother, we are wrong. We are just running errands. This is none of our business. Brother, Lord Tiger asked us to come here. We never thought of fighting with you, brother. As soon as they turned around, they were stopped by Lin Yi. The younger brother simply knelt down and begged. Don't worry, I won't hit you. I just want to remind you that if you harass her again in the future, I won't be as merciful as I was today. Understand? Lin Yi had to say it in advance, otherwise, this hooligan would definitely come to harass him again. I know. The younger brothers nodded continuously. Take this rubbish away. Lin Yi said coldly. Yes. The younger brothers quickly helped Brother Hu and another younger brother up from the ground, turned around and ran. In less than a while, a large group of people disappeared on the street. As soon as their people disappeared, Lin Yi turned around with a smile, looked at Tang Xia, and said, Isn't it scary? Have. Tang Xia was awakened by Lin Yi and felt a chill, then quickly nodded. Lin Yi was stunned and looked at Tang Xia in surprise. This girl's answer was too straightforward. Did you learn Kung Fu? Tang Xia looked at Lin Yi seriously. Yeah. What's the matter? Lin Yi smiled and nodded. The girl asked him to know Kung Fu to protect her, and just now Lin Yi used one of the 18 martial arts. Are all your shared boyfriends so amazing? They can sing, have great bodies, and are so handsome. They also know Kung Fu. Tang Xia's eyes became blurred. Chapter 30 Kiss Me. Puff. Lin Yi covered his mouth and smiled, and he looked like he was laughing so hard. Why are you laughing? Tang Xia's eyes became even more confused. Everything about him seemed perfect, making people feel comfortable, happy, and even safe. What kind of person is he? Is he really just a shared boyfriend? Even if he is a shared boyfriend, isn't he too perfect? Or is he an angel sent by God to protect me? No. I'm not laughing at anything. I just think you're cute. Lin Yi shook his head and defended himself. Lin Yi. I feel so happy. When you were not around, I felt so inferior. I didn't like to associate with boys, and I always felt that the boys around me were so wretched. But after meeting you, my thoughts changed. I realized that everything was so beautiful, and the world was so wonderful. When I heard your voice, I felt sweet. When I saw you singing, I felt like you were enjoying happiness. When I saw you, protecting me, I felt that I was the happiest, most cheerful, and happiest girl in the world. Tang Xia looked at Lin Yi with watery eyes and a look full of happiness. Lin Yi was stunned and looked at Tang Xia in surprise. Lin Yi, do you know? I just realized that before, I was not unhappy, I was just waiting for someone. That person is you. You are my future, you are my everything. I know you will laugh at me, think I am stupid, think I am just wishful thinking. But I am serious about what I said, even if you don't like me now, but I will wait, I will always protect you until the day you are truly with me. Tang Xia said this very seriously. Instead of asking him to stop being a shared boyfriend and just be her boyfriend, it's better to say what's in your heart. To be honest, Lin Yi was moved by the girl's words. It would be strange if he was not moved at this moment. She was so young, cute, and beautiful. Any man would like her. Xia, Lin Yi felt a little apologetic. Lin Yi could actually understand that it was normal for him to have won her heart after doing so many things to impress her. However, if she really understood, it would be completely different. You don't have to say anything. I know what you want to say. Maybe, after tonight, you are no longer my boyfriend. But I don't care, because I will try my best to make you like me. Tang Xia laughed happily, with tears in her eyes. But when she spoke, she was very serious and didn't seem to be joking at all. Looking at Tang Xia's expression, Lin Yi couldn't help but be stunned. He had never seen this girl so serious before. Okay, don't say anything, just follow me. Tang Xia laughed, then pulled Lin Yi up and left. Lin Yi didn't stop and followed behind. The two of them ran all their way towards a residential building. Where are we going? Lin Yi followed behind and asked curiously. To my house. Tang Xia said happily. Your home? Lin Yi was speechless. What on earth should I go to your house for? Oops. When she arrived at the door of a house on the 4th floor, Tang Xia's face changed. What's the matter? Lin Yi looked at Tang Xia in surprise. My parents are back. Tang Xia was a little confused and showed a reluctant expression on her face. Lin Yi was stunned. What do you mean your parents are back? And you have to show this expression. Could it be that? Could it be that you took me back to your home for? Lin Yi, I want to kiss you. Tang Xia's face was as red as a tomato. She lowered her head but spoke very seriously. This place is not good. Lin Yi felt a little embarrassed. Your parents are back now. It would be so embarrassing if they were discovered. But the lease period hasn't ended yet, you are my boyfriend. Although Tang Xia was very shy, she still looked serious and spoke very solemnly. This. Lin Yi thought about it and felt that what Tang Xia said made sense. Okay then. After this, don't forget to give it a 5-star rating. Kindness. Tang Xia nodded happily and excitedly. I haven't kissed before, you have to teach me. Tang Xia said nervously. Although the request was excessive, she just wanted to give her first kiss. Lin Yi stared at Tang Xia blankly. Is this request too simple? However, she was a client after all, so Lin Yi had to satisfy her requirements. Then, let's get started. Lin Yi said. Good. Tang Xia widened her eyes and looked at Lin Yi anxiously. Lin Yi leaned his head forward. Close your eyes. Good. Why did you shut your mouth? Teeth, get out of the way. 3 minutes later, the two let go of each other with saliva in their mouths and panting. Lin Yi looked at Tang Xia with a look of defeat. I'm sorry, I have no experience, I will try my best. Tang Xia wiped her saliva and said embarrassedly. It's okay, you'll get used to it slowly. Lin Yi frowned and replied. Oh. Tang Xia nodded. I want to do it again. Well, okay then. Although Lin Yi was reluctant, he still agreed and continued. But this time, Tang Xia directly hugged Lin Yi's neck, hung her body on Lin Yi, opened her mouth and started biting him. Although Lin Yi felt a little tired, he still cooperated and met Tang Xia's requirements. Xia, are you back? When the two were gnawing enthusiastically, a voice was heard from inside the room. It's my mother. Tang Xia quickly let go of Lin Yi, her eyes widened suddenly, and she immediately fell off Lin Yi. After falling down, Tang Xia quickly grabbed Lin Yi's hand and bit the back of Lin Yi's hand with her teeth. "What are you doing?" Lin Yi struggled for a while and shouted. He. This is the testimony of our love. With this testimony of love, other women will not like you. Also, you have kissed me, so I am your girlfriend. You are not allowed to regret it. Tang Xia said seriously, "I'm going home first, let's contact each other by phone. You are not allowed to ignore my call." Tang Xia said this seriously, then turned around and ran towards home. "Mom, I'm back, open the door." "It's you who are back, come in quickly." After hearing the previous conversation, Lin Yi paused. Isn't this girl a little too naive? But you're also right, how can a girl whose kissing skills are so bad be anything but naive? Congratulations to their host for receiving 5-star praise. Because their host has not completed a side quest, the task is not completed and the reward cannot be issued for the time being. Please complete the side quest before 12 o'clock. As soon as Lin Yi turned around, a voice came out of the system. The first voice was normal, but the second voice made Lin Yi a little confused. Side quest. What side quest? Lin Yi said in surprise. For example, the hidden dangers of the goddess. The system replied. The danger of hidden dangers. That Mr. Feng. Lin Yi immediately remembered what the gangster had said. He was competing with Master Feng for a woman. Someone from the Feng family. Could it be that Master Feng was Feng Jun? Chapter 31. There is nothing to talk about, so let us not talk about it. What? Brother Tiger was beaten into an idiot? All his followers were dispersed. What happened? On the 18th floor, in a luxurious suite, Feng Jun yelled loudly into the phone. He asked Brother Hu to take people to destroy Lin Yi and take Tang Xia away, but what happened now? Brother Hu was beaten into an idiot, and his brothers all dispersed. Isn't this a joke? Who is Brother Hu? He is the leader of Gaozhong City, with hundreds of brothers under him. With the support of his Feng family, he is almost invincible in that territory. But now, Brother Hu has been beaten into an idiot, and even his brothers have been reformed. Damn it, I don't care what method you use, I want that kid to die. Yes, you'd better do it cleanly. Remember, at all costs. Feng Jun roared. After roaring, he threw the phone aside. You can't even handle such a small matter, you are such a bunch of rubbish. Feng Jun was really unhappy. He originally wanted to defeat Lin Yi with his strength, but when facing Lin Yi, he lost all his confidence. So, he had to rely on the strength of the outside world, but he didn't know that such a thing would happen. What made our Master Feng so angry? Why don't you tell me? Just when Feng Jun was getting furious, a faint laugh sounded behind him. When this voice sounded, Feng Jun's whole body trembled and his pupils widened. He was the only one in his home, but now, without his knowledge, there was one more person in his home. You know, the door of his house is equipped with a super anti-theft electronic lock. Without his eyes and password, it cannot be opened at all. But at this moment, it was actually stolen by someone. Who? Feng Jun shouted loudly out of instinct and quickly looked towards a corner. I saw a sofa in the dark corner, and on the sofa sat a very handsome man wearing black trousers and a white shirt. Moreover, this man looked particularly familiar. Isn't he the man called Lin Yi? Why is he in my house? Why are you in my house? How did you get in? Feng Jun screamed in fear. Is this person a ghost? He appeared in my house without saying anything. If he hadn't spoken, I wouldn't have noticed it. Virus. That old lock of yours is so outdated that it will become scrap metal if you add a virus program to it. Lin Yi spread his hands and said with a very helpless expression. Virus. Feng Jun's whole body trembled. Who are you? People create viruses to hack into big companies and corporations, but you use viruses to hack into my home lock. Your virus program is free? However, when he thought of this, Feng Jun became even more frightened. Is this person an ordinary person who can slap Brother Hu into an idiot with one slap and easily open the door of his house with the help of the virus? Moreover, he must have heard what I just said, which means that he came to seek revenge on me. What do you want? Feng Jun stepped back and looked at Lin Yidao warily. Before, he thought this good-looking man was a soft persimmon, and besides being good-looking, he was nothing but a waste. But now, he finally understood that the man in front of him was clearly a demon. It's very simple. I came here this time just to have a good talk with Master Feng. Lin Yi took out a cigarette from a pack on the table, lit one for himself, and looked at Feng Jun with a faint smile. Talk about it. Does Feng Jun believe it? He absolutely does not believe that this person came to his house just to have a chat. You want to talk, but don't you know how to make an appointment and knock on the door? You have to sneak in secretly. Yes, just a good talk. Lin Yi smiled and looked at Feng Jun and said, there must have been a lot of misunderstandings with Master Feng today. So, I hope the two of us can resolve this misunderstanding. Misunderstanding resolved. Hearing that Lin Yi was here to seek peace, Feng Jun became a little bolder. How do we resolve this? You stole my woman and injured my people. Tell me, how do we resolve this? Feng Jun finally understood that this guy was obviously afraid of his own power, so he came to ask for peace. From the tone of voice, Master Feng doesn't want to resolve this matter. Lin Yi paused, took a deep breath of smoke, and looked at Feng Jun. Okay, since you want to resolve it, then I will resolve it with you. From today on, hand over Tang Xia to me. Also, kneel down in front of my brother and kowtow to apologize, otherwise, this matter will not end. When Feng Jun saw Lin Yi showing weakness, he went even further and laughed cruelly. Lin Yi was silent for a moment, and then he said, it seems that Master Feng has made up his mind. That's right. Apart from these 2 points, you can't resolve this matter with me. I tell you, as long as I use the power of my Feng family, you will never be able to escape from my grasp, even if it means you are at the end of the world. Feng Jun said even more excessively. Well. Lin Yi sighed. What? Are you sighing? Are you scared? Or do you regret snatching the woman from me, or regret offending me? Feng Jun asked. Lin Yi pretended not to hear it, then took out a thick rope and tied it into a circle. Come on, move your feet. Lin Yi said to Feng Jun. What are you doing? Why are you tying me up? Are you trying to kidnap me? Or are you trying to blackmail me? Don't forget, this is my house. There are cameras in my house. Feng Jun shouted loudly. You think too much. Lin Yi rolled his eyes and then tied one end of the rope to the leg of the sofa. What are you doing? What? Feng Jun felt a bad premonition and slowly stepped back. Since there is nothing to discuss, let's not discuss it. Lin Yi stood up, spread his hands, and said with an innocent expression. R. Feng Jun shouted, oh no, and turned and ran. However, the moment he turned around, Lin Yi grabbed the back of his collar and threw him directly out of the window on the 18th floor. R. No. The moment Feng Jun was thrown out, Lin Yi threw the rope in his hand out, and the rope caught Feng Jun's legs. R. Feng Jun's legs were caught and his body fell vertically. Finally, he stopped when he fell to the 10th floor. After he stopped, a scream more tragic than that of a pig being slaughtered echoed in the air. At the same time, the earthy yellow liquid flowed down Feng Jun's neck. Congratulations to their host for completing the side quest. Congratulations to their host for obtaining 200 shared points. Their host will randomly select one of the abilities requested by the goddess as a permanent ability. Randomly selecting a permanent ability for the host. Congratulations to their host for acquiring the 18 martial arts. Soon after Feng Jun threw it down, the system's voice sounded immediately. This also meant that Lin Yi's order tonight was truly over. Chapter 32 Obtain 2 permanent skills. 18 martial arts. Very good. Lin Yi felt that the 18 martial arts were completely integrated into his mind, and he couldn't help but smile. Although the 18 martial arts were invisible, they were undoubtedly the greatest help to him now. For example, the side quest just now plays a huge role. At the same time, the 3 abilities of Golden Voice, 9,999 Divine Songs, and even Super Humor, all disappeared from Lin Yi. 200 shared points. System, what's going on? Lin Yi then remembered that after this order was completed, he actually received 200 shared points. Replying to their host, because their host not only received the goddess 5-star praise, but also solved the goddess's worries, the system specially rewarded the host with 100 shared points. The system replied. You mean, that side quest? Lin Yi asked in surprise. Yes, host. Side quests are tasks outside of the mission. Only when the host completes them perfectly will there be special rewards. The system explained. Oh my god, this is possible. Lin Yi was overjoyed. He completed such a simple task and obtained 100 shared points, which was equivalent to 1 million RMB. System, help me exchange 100 shared points for 1 million renminbi, and give me the other 100 shared points for the lottery. Lin Yi said to the system. Received. Deduct 200 shared points from the host. Congratulations to the host for winning 1 million renminbi. It will be transferred to the host's bank card immediately. Please check it. Ding. Congratulations to the host for randomly drawing the ability of permanent mind reading. Please check it. The exchange of RMB and the random draw were carried out together, and then two voices sounded in Lin Yi's mind almost at the same time. At the same time, Lin Yi's cell phone vibrated. Lin Yi picked up the phone and saw that the bank had sent a text message saying that a sum of 1 million RMB in cash had been transferred into his bank card. 1 million RMB in hand means that from today on, Lin Yi can officially escape poverty. Mind reading. However, what attracted Lin Yi more was the mind reading ability. Mind reading. After using it, the host can read the thoughts of anyone within 10 meters of the host. Reading what the other person is thinking, is there really such a terrifying ability in this world? In the past, Lin Yi had only seen mind reading on TV, but he never knew that he would actually acquire this ability in real life. That's awesome. Doesn't this mean that as long as I want, I can know what anyone is thinking? The more Lin Yi thought about it, the more excited he became. This ability would undoubtedly be the greatest help to him. Help! Something happened. Someone fell from the 18th floor to the 10th floor. Call the police. There really is someone hanging on the 10th floor, and he's about to die. Lin Yizai suppressed his excitement. At this moment, a shout came from downstairs, and many people gathered together to watch the excitement. You're lucky that we're done for today. I hope you've learned your lesson. Lin Yi smiled faintly and glanced downstairs, then turned around and walked downstairs. If the police find out about this, it will inevitably lead to trouble. So it is better to leave first. Not long after Lin Yi left, the door was kicked open and a group of policemen and firefighters rushed in. They pulled up Feng Jun, who was hanging in the air one by one. When Feng Jun was pulled up, he was incontinent, his face was extremely pale, and his whole body was shaking. After he landed on the ground, his only consciousness was crying in pain. Son, son. Just as Feng Jun was rescued, a fat man in his 50s ran over. The man was the president of Feng Group, Feng Dalong. Not long ago, he received a call from the police, who said his son had been dropped from the 10th floor and might be in danger of death, so he rushed over immediately. But he didn't know that when he arrived, his son would become like this. Devil, devil, there is a devil. Feng Dalong shouted at Feng Jun, and Feng Jun's eyes widened, his hands and feet waved wildly, and he screamed like a madman. How could this happen? How could this happen? Check it out for me. Who did this? Check it out for me. Feng Dalong only has this one son, and usually his son is his treasure. Now that his son has become like this, how can he not be angry? Mr. Feng, I just checked the cameras in the room and the cameras in the entire building, and the result. A secretary came over and spoke nervously, but when he got to this point, he stopped, not knowing what to do next. What's the result? Tell me quickly. Feng Dalong roared. As a result, the cameras were tampered with, and even the front door was hacked. This means we can't find any clues about the murderer. The secretary said nervously. What? Feng Dalong was stunned for a moment. Such a thing happened, but there was no clue at all. Even, the other party used hacking technology to attack his son? Who was it? Who went to such great lengths to deal with his son? Use that department in the company. Find out who did this, at any cost. I want him dead. Feng Dalong said coldly. Yes, Mr. Feng. The secretary will do it right away. At this time, the doctors also arrived, and Feng Jun was carried away only after the doctor gave him an injection of sedative. If you dare to touch my son, Feng Dalong, you'd better think twice. Feng Dalong snorted coldly and turned away. While the Feng family was in an uproar, Lin Yi called a taxi and came to his home. When he returned to the community, it was already 11:30 in the evening. After a busy day, Lin Yi looked exhausted. Xiaojing. When Lin Yi walked to the stairs, he saw Xu Xiaojing sitting alone on the stairs with red eyes, as if she had been crying. It's so late, why don't you go home and sleep? What are you doing here alone? Lin Yi asked Xu Xiaojing. Lin Yi. Xu Xiaojing looked at Lin Yi with an aggrieved expression, her eyes were watery, and she looked particularly pitiful. What's the matter? Did what I said today hurt your self-esteem? Lin Yi thought about it carefully. What she said at school today was really too much. As a girl, it would be strange if her self-esteem was not hurt. No. Xu Xiaojing shook her head. No. Now Lin Yi was stunned. My mom wants to divorce my dad. Xu Xiaojing felt even more aggrieved and looked like she was about to cry. Divorce? Lin Yi was shocked. Aren't her parents very loving? Moreover, her father always gave her mother surprises. Xu Kuan, you fat loser, I want to divorce you. I want to find my own happiness. Wife, I was wrong. Is it okay if I was wrong? Please, don't leave. Let me go, I want to live in Lin Yi's house. Chapter 33 The Dark One is indeed a lowly. When Lin Yi was wondering, a quarrel was heard from upstairs. When he heard the quarrel, Lin Yi couldn't help but tremble and looked at Xu Xiaojing in surprise. Xu Xiaojing also looked over, but her eyes were full of grievance. You're not going to say that your mom is clamoring to divorce your dad because of me, right? Lin Yi asked nervously, cautiously and embarrassedly. Xu Xiaojing nodded vigorously, it's all because of you, a vixen. That day, you were not wearing any clothes at home, and ended up seducing my mom. This. Lin Yi felt a little embarrassed. Think about it. I didn't do it on purpose that day. If your mother hadn't suddenly barged in, that wouldn't have happened. Lin Yi, let me ask you, do you love Xu Ya? Xu Xiaojing looked at Lin Yi seriously. Why are you asking this? Lin Yi was a little curious. Was this girl changing the subject too quickly? Let me ask you, do you love it? Xu Xiaojing said seriously. This. Lin Yi didn't know how to answer because the lease had ended and they were no longer boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay, I'll assume you're embarrassed to answer. Do you know the relationship between Xu Ya and I? We are good sisters and best friends, and we have a very good relationship. Xu Xiaojing said seriously again. What's the meaning? Lin Yi felt more and more confused the more he listened. We were discussing your parents' affairs. Why did you bring up Tang Xia's affairs? When a best friend is in trouble, the other best friend should never sit idly by. The same goes for the best friend's boyfriend. Xu Xiaojing looked at Lin Yi seriously. Lin Yi opened his mouth and finally understood what Xu Xiaojing meant. You've seen it too. My mom wants to divorce my dad because of you, a vixen. But you have a girlfriend now. You definitely don't like my mom pestering you. So, I want you to act out a scene with me. Xu Xiaojing lowered her head and said embarrassedly. What play? Lin Yi was stunned for a moment and asked. This girl said so much, but in the end she was still trying to attract his attention. Now Lin Yi just hopes that this girl won't go too far. Of course you'll pretend to be my boyfriend. But you can rest assured, I just want you to show your face a little bit, in front of my parents, and say that you're my boyfriend, so that my mom won't make trouble. Xu Xiaojing said with anticipation. Is it that simple? Lin Yi also felt that this was not a difficult problem. He was the one who caused the incident, so it was normal for him to solve it now. It's that simple. Xu Xiaojing's eyes lit up and she became excited. Okay then. But let's make it clear that I will only show my face once, and after that, any conflicts in your family will have nothing to do with me. Lin Yi said the ugly words in advance to avoid getting into trouble again. Don't worry, as long as you show up, it will be fine. But you have to cooperate with me. Xu Xiaojing smiled. As long as Lin Yi shows up, she is sure that her parents can reconcile. How do you cooperate? Lin Yi always felt that he was being plotted against. This girl was sitting here crying, actually waiting for him. As soon as he came back, the plan would start to be implemented, and in the end, she would have to drag him into the trap. Us. Xu Xiaojing smiled wickedly, then told him her plan in detail. After hearing these words, Lin Yi's brows furrowed tightly. He knew that this girl was not that simple. Okay, let's go upstairs. Xu Xiaojing covered her mouth and smiled, then pulled Lin Yi upstairs. Hey! What are you holding in your hand? After Xu Xiaojing stood up, Lin Yi discovered that there was a small bag in Xu Xiaojing's hand. Gifts? How can I not have gifts when announcing our relationship in front of my parents? Besides, this is your first time visiting my house. Xu Xiaojing was talking and explaining as she walked. It turns out that this girl is determined to have him tonight. The gifts are all ready. Was this something that had been planned for a long time? Sure enough, the black-bellied girl is still a loli. Knock, knock. When Xu Xiaojing took Lin Yi's hand and walked to the door of her house, she started knocking on the door loudly. What are you arguing about? Can't you see I'm getting a divorce? There was a sound of angry screaming from inside the house. However, the door was still opened. As soon as the door was pushed open, a woman in a nightgown with her hair loose was seen. The woman was holding a bent clothes hanger in her hand. Not far behind her, a fat man was lying on the ground with tears and snot all over his face. He looked like he had been tortured. Lin Yi. When the woman saw clearly that it was Lin Yi, she screamed loudly, and the clothes hanger in her hand fell to the ground. Her face was full of joy, as if she was welcoming the arrival of her spring. Are you here to see me? Come in. Please come in. When Chen Lan saw clearly that it was Lin Yi, she immediately opened the door and invited Lin Yi in. Fatty, why don't you go pour some tea? Chen Lan looked angrily at the fat man on the ground. Oh. The fat man immediately got up and limped to make tea. Dad, don't leave yet. I want to announce something. Just as the fat man was about to leave, Xu Xiaojing immediately called out to him with a smile, then lowered her head shyly and spoke. The fat man did stop and looked at his daughter in surprise. What do you have to announce, you damn girl? Let the guests in. Chen Lan looked at her daughter angrily. Dad, Mom, I'm in love. Xu Xiaojing said happily, then reached out and held Lin Yi's hand tightly, her face full of happiness. You are in love. Chen Lan and the fat man spoke at the same time and looked over together. Especially when Chen Lan saw her daughter grabbing Lin Yi's hand, she suddenly felt dizzy. Lin Yi was her second spring, her future. But now her daughter was holding hands with him. She even said that she was in love. Well, we are in love. We are both sincere. Lin Yi said that he will marry me after I graduate, and we will live together. Xu Xiaojing glanced at Lin Yi secretly and said shyly. Lin Yi's forehead was covered with black lines. This girl is too much. I will marry you after you graduate. How many days are left before graduation? Only less than 10 days, right? Do you want me to marry you in 10 days? Marry. Chen Lan felt as if she was stabbed twice in the chest. The man who made her feel like she was experiencing a second spring was actually going to marry her daughter. Isn't this a blatant betrayal of her? Congratulations, daughter. You can finally start a family. The fat man smiled naively and gave his daughter a thumbs up. Thank you, Dad. Xu Xiaojing nodded happily. Chapter 34, Women's Voices Are Terrifying. Congratulations, daughter. You can finally start a family. The fat man smiled naively and gave his daughter a thumbs up. Thank you, Dad. Xu Xiaojing nodded happily. Congratulations, sister. Get out of my way. Chen Lan was so angry that she pinched the fat man's ear and threw him to the side. She gritted her teeth and roared, then looked at Xu Xiaojing angrily and said, I don't agree with what you are doing. Why? Xu Xiaojing frowned. Why so many whys? I don't agree, I just don't agree. Don't you see how old you are? Don't you see your own status? You want to fall in love? No way. I officially announce that you two are breaking up. Chen Lan said savagely. You? Xu Xiaojing was furious. She was afraid that her mother would do this. If she did this, wouldn't this ruin her plan? Lin Yi frowned as well. Wouldn't this just cause him more trouble? He said he would just show up once, but now that things have gotten so chaotic, would it be enough to just show up once? You're too young to compete with me for my man. Don't you see who I am? After tonight, I'm going to eat this little man myself. When the time comes, har har. When Lin Yi was frowning, he heard the inner voice of Chen Lan. Oh my god, this woman has bad intentions. Lin Yi was shocked. Fortunately, he had the ability to read minds, otherwise he would not even know that this woman had tricked him. No, we have to think of a way. Lin Yi started thinking. After a while, Lin Yi accidentally saw a list not far from the door, so he picked up the list and put it in the interlayer of his clothes. Then he smiled evilly, took a step forward, and said with a smile, "Auntie, Xiaojing and I are sincere. Can you help us? Actually, we..." When Lin Yi was speaking here, something fell out from the lining of his clothes. It was a hospital examination form. "Oh, sorry, I dropped something." When Lin Yi saw the list fall to the ground, he hurriedly picked it up. While picking it up, he even took away a corner of the list to show Chen Lan, and then quickly put the list into his clothes, as if he was afraid of being seen. Pregnancy test. Could it be? Could it be? Chen Lan didn't see anything else, but she saw the two big words, pregnancy test, on the list. Could it be? Could it be that they were pregnant? They were secretly pregnant. No wonder. No wonder this girl is nowhere to be seen after school every day, and no wonder she is more diligent than anyone else every time she goes to Lin Yi's house to collect rent. No wonder she often sends meals to Lin Yi. It turns out that Lin Yi got her pregnant. Auntie. Uncle, this is just a small gift. It's not a sign of respect. I'll come back to see you another day. I'm going back now. Lin Yi put the gift on the table, then turned and left. Dad, Mom, I'm going to Lin Yi's house too. Xu Xiaojing followed him. She was very curious, why did her mother suddenly agree? Did she figure it out? No, it must be the conspiracy of the vixen Lin Yi. So I have to ask clearly. Wife, look, these two kids are really sincere and they are so close. How about we help them get together? Lin Yi and Xu Xiaojing walked away. The fat man saw his wife looking stunned, so he asked nervously. Wow. Chen Lan didn't answer, but went into her room crying. Wife, what's wrong with you? Wife. The fat man knocked on the door anxiously and shouted nervously. I'm heartbroken, I'm dead, my love is gone. A shrill cry was heard in the room. Lin Yi, tell me the truth, what did you do to my mother just now? After Lin Yi pushed open the door of his house, Xu Xiaojing followed him and asked with a questioning look on her face. What did I do to your mother? Didn't I just put the gift on the table? She didn't say anything from beginning to end, which means she agreed. Lin Yi smiled and replied, then it's me. My mission is completed. Your parents will reconcile in the future, and this matter has nothing to do with me anymore. Finish it, you big head ghost, are you deaf? I can hear my mother crying from here. Xu Xiaojing sniffed angrily, looked outside the door and said. This. Lin Yi listened carefully and found that there was indeed crying coming from the direction of her home. Tell me the truth, what did you do to my mother just now? Xu Xiaojing said angrily. This guy must have done something to his mother, otherwise, why would his mother be crying? Moreover, she looked so determined before and didn't look like someone who was going to cry at all, but the moment Lin Yi opened his mouth, he made her cry. This. Lin Yi actually didn't want to say it, but seeing Xu Xiaojing so persistent and Chen Lan crying, Lin Yi still took out the list from the lining of his clothes. Aunt Wang next door is pregnant. I remember she is already in her 40s. After seeing the list, Xu Xiaojing smiled with her eyes brightening. Hey! Why are you showing me this? Xu Xiaojing immediately felt something was wrong, so she looked at Lin Yi and asked. So? Lin Yi made some adjustments, deliberately covering up the name and taking out the words pregnancy test. Did you drop the list on the ground on purpose and let my mother see these words? Xu Xiaojing finally understood. That's right. Lin Yi nodded. You are so despicable. Xu Xiaojing said angrily. How can you fool your mother without being mean? Lin Yi rolled his eyes. You. Xu Xiaojing felt that what Lin Yi said made sense, but what about her stomach? Thinking of this, Xu Xiaojing grabbed Lin Yi's shoulders and pushed him down onto the bed. What are you doing? Lin Yi began to struggle. Don't you know what you're doing? Hurry up and make me pregnant. Nonsense, you are still so young. But you just confirmed it in front of my parents. Are you going to do it or not? I don't. Xu Xiaojing simply stopped talking and started to use brute force. Lin Yi also didn't say anything and struggled violently. Crack. As they were entangled with each other, the door was pushed open, and Chen Lan was seen standing at the door. Lin Yi and Xu Xiaojing were startled. They started to pack their clothes together, looking at the door shyly and fearfully. "Mom, I figured it out. I'll grant your wishes." Chen Lan wiped her tears and spoke seriously. After saying that, he turned and left. Chen Lan's words and actions made Lin Yi and Xu Xiaojing's eyes light up. This doesn't mean that their plan was truly successful. However, when Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief, he vaguely heard the voices in the corridor. "Humph! You little brat, it will be easier to take action now that you have become my son-in-law." Chapter 35 Feng Jun Incident. After seeing Xu Xiaojing off, Lin Yi finally breathed a sigh of relief. After locking the door, he lay down. What happened was so horrifying. The daughter insisted on getting her pregnant herself, and the mother had all kinds of worries and thoughts. "No, it seems we have to move. If we don't know what will happen." This kind of thing would be fine if it happened once, but after it happened 2, 3, or 4 times, Lin Yi was afraid that he would not be able to control himself. Especially the voice he just heard, it has always been a nightmare in Lin Yi's heart. Kindness. Lin Yi lay down and picked up his phone. He saw that his WeChat account was bombarded with messages and he had more than 50 missed calls. When Lin Yi turned on the phone, he found that 30 of the calls were from Xia Qianqian and 20 or so were from strangers. As for WeChat, Xia Qianqian's messages had already reached 99, and there were also messages from several strangers. As for those who added her as a friend, the number had reached more than 500. Lin Yi opened Xia Qianqian's message and saw that it was filled with various messages. "Lin Yi, I miss you. Lin Yi, why don't you answer the phone? Lin Yi, are you taking another order? Lin Yi." Seeing these messages, Lin Yi was really overwhelmed and simply replied, "I was very busy at work and just got home now." But as soon as this sentence was sent out, Lin Yi's cell phone rang. "Hello." Lin Yi answered the phone. "Lin Yi, you pervert, tell me, did you go to take the order?" Xia Qianqian's angry voice came from the phone. Lin Yi was stunned for a moment and said, "How can there be so many orders? I have to work. I just came home." "You didn't lie to me." "No." "That's better. Then you should go to bed early. I'll call you tomorrow. Also, you are not allowed to talk to other women. Do you understand?" After saying that, Xia Qianqian hung up the phone. Lin Yi shook his head helplessly, then looked through the messages. Seeing that they were all from strangers, Lin Yi didn't care about them. After turning off his phone, he fell asleep. The next morning, Lin Yi got up early, packed up, put on a mask and a baseball cap, then went out and rushed to the company. According to our report, Feng Jun, the son of Feng Group, was thrown from the 18th floor last night and then hung in the air for 8 minutes. After being rescued by the police, a doctor diagnosed that Feng Jun had been frightened into an idiot. This morning, Mr. Feng Dalong, the president of Feng Group, held a press conference and said at the press conference that he would bring the murderer to justice. Lin Yi just walked into the company, but saw a news broadcast in the company's lobby. Feng Jun was frightened into an idiot. Lin Yi looked at the news on the big screen in surprise. The news was broadcasting Feng Jun's home, their hospital, and Feng Dalong's press conference. Seeing this, Lin Yi shrank his neck. Yesterday, he used a super hacker to hack into the electronic equipment of the entire building. Logically, he did not leave any clues, so the police should not come looking for him. This Feng Group is so abominable, and now it has finally received retribution. That is to say, you don't know yet, that Feng Dalong is so disgusting, he actually used business contacts to repeatedly force female customers to sleep with him, and even set his sights on the chairman. Humph! This kind of person really deserves his retribution. He has done so many bad things that someone finally comes to take care of him. Let me tell you. Feng Dalong's son is not a good guy either. I heard that he got a girl pregnant at Yuncheng High School 2 years ago, and he just paid her some money and that was it. How disgusting. When Lin Yi walked into the elevator, several female colleagues soon came in. They were also discussing this morning's news, and it was obvious that they were gloating. For some reason, after hearing these words, Lin Yi felt less guilty. Before, Feng Jun couldn't help feeling a little guilty because he was frightened silly, but after hearing what they said, the guilt disappeared immediately. Hey! This person looks so familiar. I think I've seen him somewhere before. Finally, a girl noticed Lin Yi and started to look at him carefully. Yeah. This figure and back view are so handsome. Another girl also looked over. I remember now. He is Lin Yi, the one who sang the song Liang Liang at Yuncheng High School last night and showed off his mermaid line. How come he is in our company? Is he our colleague? Yes, I heard that a super handsome guy came to our company yesterday. That must be Lin Yi. The other girls' eyes lit up, and they all turned around, looking at Lin Yi with fiery eyes, screaming with excitement in their hearts. You got the wrong person. I'm not Lin Yi. Lin Yi pulled his hat down a little and spoke nervously. His voice is so nice. I watched that video yesterday. He is Lin Yi. Lin Yi, I like you so much. Can you be my boyfriend, Lin Yi? Drop. When this group of girls rushed over, the elevator door finally opened. Lin Yi didn't think too much and quickly got out. They all wore masks and hats? But he was still recognized. Wasn't this just a joke? Look at the looks in these women's eyes. If he was a little slower, they would have eaten him. Brother Lin Yi, don't go. Lin Yi. As soon as Lin Yi came out, the group of girls followed him and shouted urgently. Fortunately, Lin Yi ran fast enough, otherwise he would definitely be caught. After running into the department, Lin Yi finally breathed a sigh of relief and walked directly to his seat. However, as soon as Lin Yi sat down, he immediately felt something was wrong. His seat was unusually clean, and there were some cute little decorations. Even the chair was changed, the desk was changed, and even the computer keyboard was changed. If he hadn't been sure that he was in the third seat by the window, he would definitely have suspected that it was someone else's seat. Who changed it for me? Lin Yi was puzzled. Do you like it? When Lin Yi was wondering, a very soft, sexy and charming woman's voice sounded in his ears. Lin Yi turned around slightly and saw Zhang Na walking towards him with charming steps. Zhang Na was dressed a little strangely today, still wearing a black suit jacket, a black professional suit and a black skirt. It's just that, her skirt is shorter today. Usually it's knee length, but today, okay. It's almost hip length. When Lin Yi saw this, Zhang Na seemed to have noticed it as well, so she smiled more confidently. Her smile pulled Lin Yi back. You installed it for me. Lin Yi withdrew his gaze, moved to the side and asked. Yes. Doesn't it look more comfortable? From now on. If you need anything, I'll be there for you anytime. Zhang Na pulled her chair over and sat next to Lin Yi, even blocking the exit, as if she was afraid that Lin Yi would run away. Why does Lin Yi feel that this atmosphere is weird? What does it mean that if you need anything in the future, you can come whenever you call? This is clearly a hint to him, isn't it? How much did it cost? I'll transfer it to you via WeChat. Lin Yi took out his cell phone without hesitation. No need. What's the point of doing this for you? Just think of it as my apology to you. Zhang Na smiled happily. In the past, if Lin Yi encountered this situation, he would laugh so hard that he couldn't sleep at night, but now, Lin Yi developed a strong aversion to this woman. Are you free at noon today? I'll treat you to a meal. Seeing that Lin Yi did not refuse, Zhang Na asked with a smile. No time. Lin Yi refused directly. What about tonight? I remember there's a nice restaurant, why don't we go there for dinner? After dinner, we'll go to a movie and then go to my house. I bought a nice bottle of wine the day before yesterday, why don't we? Zhang Na spoke more and more passionately, her body almost pressed against Lin Yi. Lin Yi stepped back vigorously and said, I'm going to have dinner with you. After the meal, will anyone else be there? Lin Yi, come to my office. When Lin Yi was at a loss, Wang Jiashua's voice was heard in the president's office. Sorry, Mr. Wang called me. Lin Yi quickly pushed away Zhang Na who was about to stick to him, stood up and walked towards the president's office. Then it's settled, we'll have dinner together tonight. Zhang Na stood up and chased after him, shouting. Nana, Lin Yi is busy. How about treating me to a meal? Har har. I can do that too. A group of male colleagues in the office also heard their conversation, so several men stood up and grinned. Get lost. Zhang Na snorted coldly, turned around and left angrily. Although Lin Yi's attitude towards her was lukewarm, she would not give up. Her anger caused a burst of laughter in the office. Chapter 36 The Perfect Female Chairman. Cloud City. On a highway, a luxury Mercedes-Benz was driving leisurely. In the back seat, a woman wearing a women's suit, with a beautiful face and looking extremely domineering, was sitting there quietly. This woman is Yi-Cheen Gru, the chairman of Oriental Group. She graduated with a degree in economics and management from Harvard University in the United States. After graduation, she directly inherited all the assets of Oriental Group. He became the youngest chairman in the business world and also the youngest billionaire. Because she is beautiful and has inherited a fortune worth tens of billions, she is still single and is extremely famous in the business circle of Yuncheng. It is said that those who pursue her can go around Yuncheng. However, everyone knew that those who pursued her were only after her property. Because of this, she always felt repulsive to some men around her, and always felt that those men who approached her had bad intentions. So in the circle, everyone called her the cold and arrogant president. Ding ding ding. At this time, the cell phone of a pretty girl wearing black-rimmed glasses sitting in the passenger seat rang. Hello, okay. The girl answered 3 times in a row, then hung up the phone, turned around, and looked at Yi-Cheen Gru. Chairman, this is Mr. Sun calling. Mr. Sun said he wants to discuss a big business with you. If it's convenient for you, please go to Wanhe restaurant. The female secretary Komari looked at Yi-Cheen Gru and said, Sun Chuanwen. Yi-Cheen Gru frowned. Yes, Chairman. Kumaro nodded. Reject him. Yi-Cheen Gru said it very simply. She did not forget the last time Sun Chuanwen said he had a big business to discuss with her. As a result, after the old pervert sent his men away, he actually started to tease her. If she hadn't been smart, she really didn't know what the result would have been. But today, that disgusting old man used the same trick again. But Mr. Sun said that this business deal is of great importance, and he also said, he is very sorry for what happened last time, so please be sure to go. Komari said nervously. She also knew the chairman's situation, but the problem was, this was related to business, right? If she didn't go, she would definitely suffer heavy losses. Just say, I'm busy. Yi-Cheen Gru's answer was difficult. In the past, she thought being single was good, at least no one had any plans for her, but now, she found herself really exhausted. When she went out to discuss business, she was afraid that someone would take advantage of her, and when she wanted to find a boyfriend, she was afraid that the other party would plot against her family's property. If only she could find her true love, a man who was devoted to her. That would be great. However, she knew that this was impossible. From the day she inherited the Oriental Group's assets, she was destined to be without love. Yes. Chairman. Komari had no choice but to pick up her phone and refuse. However, just as she refused, Komari's cell phone rang again. After Komari took it, her face looked a little ugly. Chairman, Mr. Sun asked you to be present today. If you are not present, then, the cooperation between the two groups will end. Komari said nervously. What? Yi-Cheen Gru was really angry. How could she not know what conspiracy that man named Sun was up to? Wasn't this forcing her? Yi-Cheen Gru knew very well what the cooperation between the two families meant. Without the Sun Group, the Oriental Group would be nothing. However, Sun Chuanwen's dinner party was clearly meant to force her to submit. Thinking of this, Yi-Cheen Gru wanted to cry. If possible, she really didn't want to be the chairman of the board. After taking this position, there are conspiracies and deceptions everywhere. But unfortunately, all of this needs to be borne by a weak woman like her. Ding ding ding. When Yi-Cheen Gru wanted to cry, she found that her cell phone vibrated several times. So, she took out her mobile phone out of curiosity, and a strange app advertisement appeared on the phone. That's what the ad says. Are you still worried about not having a boyfriend? Are you still worried about loneliness? Please click on the whole network and choose the shared boyfriend you want. Our company does not talk about perfection, but it definitely talks about satisfaction. There is nothing we can't do, only you can't think of it. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and choose your shared boyfriend. Agree on a time, agree on a place, put forward your requirements, and we will deliver it to your door. Yi-Cheen Gru was immediately attracted by this creative advertisement. Shared boyfriend. Put forward the requirements for a shared boyfriend and guarantee to meet all the customers' requirements. Is that true? Yi-Cheen Gru was really shocked. Isn't she just missing a boyfriend now? If she had a boyfriend, she could go to the dinner with confidence and even resolve the crisis of the Oriental group. But the problem is, where can she find a boyfriend? Now, this software actually gave her a glimmer of hope. So, out of curiosity, she quickly opened the app. After clicking it, there is a row of information bars on top. Requirements for sharing boyfriends, rental time, meeting place, and other information requirements. Is there really such a service? Although she didn't know whether it was true or not, Yi Qingru was very clear about one thing: she urgently needed a boyfriend. After thinking for a while, she picked up her phone and filled in the information. What are your requirements for a shared boyfriend? I'm not short of money anyway, so I'll get me a high-end one. First of all, he must be good at talking, especially familiar with business, and able to handle things on his own. It would be best if he could help me solve business problems. In addition, he must have a good temperament, preferably the kind that can impress people at first sight. And his eyes must be able to sparkle, and his driving skills must be superb. Oh, and he'd better be able to trade stocks and manage a company, so that our Oriental group doesn't have to rely on the Sun Group. Okay, that's all. As for the agreed location, it's 9:30 this morning at the Oriental Group Plaza. The rental time, well, for now, it's 1 week. Anyway, she didn't know whether it was true or not, so Yi Qingru wrote it down in an exaggerated way. After finishing it, she found that her mood improved a lot. The order has been placed successfully, please pay attention to your phone. If you have any questions during the rental period, you can ask at any time. After the rental period is over, you can evaluate the shared boyfriend. After clicking finish, a line of text appears on the screen. It's done. Yi Qingru laughed. Chairman, are you going to Wanher Tower? Komari saw Yi Qingru's silly smile, so she asked curiously. Go, why not? Yi Qingru put away her phone and a broad smile appeared on her face. Komari was stunned. How could the chairman change so quickly? She looked embarrassed just now, but now she is actually smiling. Could it be that she has thought of a way to deal with it? Chapter 37 Perfect Order. Crack. Lin Yi pushed open the door of Wang Jieshue's office. After opening the door, Wang Jieshue was sitting behind the computer desk typing on the keyboard. Wang Jieshue was dressed normally, in a straight women's suit, full of heroic spirit. However, her suit and trousers seemed tight, making her figure look particularly hot. If those men in suits and uniforms saw this, they would definitely lose control. Boss Wang, you're looking for me? Lin Yi asked. Lin Yi, here I am. Come, sit here. When Wang Jieshue saw that it was Lin Yi who came in, she held Lin Yi's hand, pulled Lin Yi to sit on the sofa, and her body was very close to him. Boss Wang, do you have something to talk to me about? After what happened yesterday, Lin Yi couldn't help but feel a little traumatized. Why would I look for you if there's nothing good? It's like this. Yesterday, you helped the company a lot. Not only did you help the company get out of danger, but you also saved the company. So, I specifically applied to the higher-ups to let you serve as their vice president of my human resources department. Wang Jieshue said this charmingly, and even moved her hands and feet while speaking, with her thighs almost pressing on Lin Yi's thighs. Vice president? Is it that simple? Lin Yi was shocked. Vice president? This is the position that every office worker dreams of. Now it fell into his hands so easily. Of course not. It's not that simple, but it is. There is only one procedure left. As long as you nod, you will be the vice president of the Human Resources Department tomorrow. Wang Jieshue said shyly. I nod? What nod? Lin Yi became even more curious now. I hate it. I've said it so directly, why don't you understand? You have to wait for me to say it myself. When Wang Jieshue saw Lin Yi's expression, she punched Lin Yi coquettishly and said charmingly. To be honest, Lin Yi really didn't understand, he had never played this kind of game. HMPH. What a stinky man, he doesn't even understand the unspoken rules, which made me say it so directly. But it doesn't matter, I like pure men, and when he is transferred to the position of vice president, we can stay in the same office every day. Then, we can play whatever we want. No, I must eat him today. When Lin Yi was stunned, he heard a voice in his ear. This voice was not from Wang Jieshue, so whose was it? This time, Lin Yi opened his mouth but couldn't say a word. Hidden rules. After talking for so long, this woman actually wanted to seduce him. She really scolded the neighbor next door if she didn't have the ability to read minds. Lin Yi never dreamed that this woman would have such an idea. Can this deputy general manager do this? If he does, he will become this woman's plaything. Ding! There is a new order. Host, do you want to accept it? When Lin Yi was terrified, the voice of the system came in his head. New order. Accept the order. Lin Yi didn't think much about it and accepted the order directly. Order accepted successfully. The system is modifying the order requirements for their host. Their host will be integrated into the business celebrity. Their host will be integrated into the mind of a business genius. Their host will be imbued with the super king's temperament. Their host will be integrated into the super discharge charm eye. Their host will integrate super car skills. Their host will be integrated into the memory of the super stock speculator. Their host will be integrated into super business management. Lease period, 1 week. Meeting place, Oriental Group Plaza. Meeting time, 9:30. Phone number, ######. The system's voices rang continuously. Lin Yi was shocked by the system's transformation sounds. At the same time, 7 different abilities merged in his mind. Oh my god, is it perfect? 7 abilities. But I like it. Although Lin Yi was surprised, he was more delighted at this moment. Because the more requests the other party makes, the more he likes it. Wait, Oriental Group Plaza. Isn't that downstairs? 9:30? Oh. It's 9:30 in 3 minutes, where the hell? Lin Yi looked at the time and place and was shocked again. The date location is actually the place I am most familiar with, and the time is a bit too tight. Lin Yi, what are you daydreaming about? How are you thinking about it? When Lin Yi took the order, Wang Jieshua called out coquettishly and her hand moved up along Lin Yi's thigh. Just as their hand was about to strike, Lin Yi quickly grabbed it and said embarrassedly, Boss Wang, this matter is of great importance. Why don't you let me go back and think about it? Consider it. What is there to consider? It's such a good thing, just say it directly. When Wang Jieshua heard this, she directly held down Lin Yi and was about to ride on him with her thighs. Etc. Lin Yi called out to Wang Jieshua. What's the matter? Wang Jieshua was stunned. She found her heart trembled when she heard Lin Yi's call just now. When she looked at Lin Yi carefully, she found that an invisible domineering aura emanated from Lin Yi. That aura made her heart beat faster, as if she saw a perfect emperor descending. Although she didn't dare to disobey, that feeling made her want Lin Yi even more. This kind of thing requires both your willingness and yours. Do you think you're happy if you insist on doing it your way? Do you think I'm willing to do it? Besides, I have to be mentally prepared for the position of vice president, right? If I'm not prepared, what's the difference between this and forcing me? So, I've decided that I need a week to think about it. You are not allowed to force me during this week, understand? Lin Yi pushed Wang Jieshua away and said in a very domineering tone. After he finished speaking, he turned his head and glanced at Wang Jieshua with a sidelong look. His voice became a little weaker, and he said, Do you understand? Lin Yi didn't notice at all that this slightly soft tone, coupled with that slanted look, made Wang Jieshua tremble all over, her face gradually turned red, and her heart beat faster. The invincible and domineering aura like that of an emperor, coupled with the lightning-like eyes, completely captured Wang Jieshua's heart. In the past, she fell in love with Lin Yi entirely because of his looks and body, but now, she discovered that what was most attractive about Lin Yi was not his looks and figure, but his electrifying eyes and his emperor-like aura. If, on a bed, Lin Yi plays the emperor and I play the concubine, what kind of scene would that be? Seeing that Wang Jieshua didn't say anything, Lin Yi put on a hat and mask and walked outside. Too charming, too sexy. Lin Yi, I must get you, I swear. Lin Yi left for a long time, and Wang Jieshua said with determination in her heart. Wait, what did he say? A week to think about it. Does he want to take a vacation? No, I can't live without Lin Yi for a week. Lin Yi, don't leave. Wang Jieshua quickly opened the door and chased after him. Chapter 38. Who said she doesn't have a boyfriend? Yi Qingrou's car stopped at the Oriental Group Plaza. However, the square was very lively and there were people everywhere. What happened up front? Yi Qingrou asked Komari. Chairman, there are so many flowers in the square. It seems that there are 9,999 roses, and the petals are scattered everywhere. It's so beautiful, Komari said in surprise and excitement. Rose. Yi Qingru took a closer look and found that there were indeed roses all around, and petals were everywhere. It was obvious that someone was confessing his love. Don't worry about it, let's get off the car. Yi Qingru opened the car door and was about to get out. Komari got out of the car quickly and then opened the door. However, the moment the car door opened, several people suddenly ran in. They opened the flower tube, and countless petals flew. Komari was frightened by this scene. She couldn't help but scream and quickly covered her ears with her hands. Qingru, I love you, be my girlfriend. When Komari put the phone in her ears for a moment, she saw a handsome man in a black suit walking out of a luxury car with a bouquet of flowers. After the man came over, he knelt on one knee in front of Yi Qingru. Oh. As soon as this scene was over, people passing by or watching the fun all screamed, and many even took out their mobile phones to take pictures on the spot. What's even more outrageous is that even the media and reporters came. Promise him. Promise him. Together, together. Those who were watching the fun were shouting excitedly, and some even turned their shouts into slogans. This is Miss Yi Qingru, the chairman of Dongfang International, and this gentleman is Mr. Yu Xingye, the founder of Hongpin International. They are such a perfect match. Yes. They are a perfect match made in heaven. So happy. Miss Yi is really so happy. Miss Yi finally found happiness. Reporters kept taking pictures, people in the media kept talking, and even some employees of the Oriental Group came to watch the fun. Faced with this scene, Yi Qingru was stunned. She never dreamed that Yu Xingye would suddenly use this trick on her. Among her suitors, Yu Xingye is one of them. He is not good looking, but he is very thoughtful and gives her gifts almost every day. Originally, Yi Qingru didn't take it seriously, but she never expected that this person would come to the door of her company and play this trick on her. This. How can I step down from this? Reporters came, the media came, and even the people in the company saw it. What to do? What to do next? Yi Qingru found that she was being forced again. The Zhu family forced her, and now even Yu Xingye was forcing her into a desperate situation where she had to agree even if she didn't want to. Ding ding ding. When Yi Qingru didn't know what to do, the ringing of her cell phone interrupted her. Yi Qingru picked up the phone almost instinctively. Who? When Yi Qingru encountered this incident, her mood instantly turned bad, so she was not in a good mood when she answered the phone call. Your shared boyfriend. Who knew that such a voice would come from the phone? Sharing a boyfriend. Isn't that a shield for yourself? Is the app real? Does boyfriend sharing really exist? Moreover, this shared boyfriend arrived just when I needed a boyfriend the most. Where are you now? Yi Qingru asked excitedly. At the Oriental Block Plaza, what about you? Asked on the phone. I'm here too. Yi Qingru answered excitedly. There are so many people, how can I find you? The voice on the phone hesitated. I was confessed to. Yi Qingru replied with an awkward answer. Okay. I'll be there soon. The voice on the phone finished speaking and immediately hung up. In fact, Yi Qingru wanted to ask what the other person looked like and how he was dressed, but a beeping sound came from the phone. Qingru, be my girlfriend. I, Yu Xingye, swear on my life that I will make you happier than any other woman for the rest of my life. Seeing Yi Qingru holding the phone, Yu Xingye confessed loudly again. Promise him, promise him. Ms. Yi, please agree to him. He's such a good man, why are you still hesitating? The people watching the excitement around saw Yi Qingru's hesitation and shouted even louder. Even Komari wanted to say a few words, as if to persuade Yi Qingru to agree. Now, isn't the chairman in need of a boyfriend? If such a good man were her boyfriend, all the conflicts would be solved. I'm sorry, I already have a boyfriend. Yi Qingru answered word by word very straightforwardly. Wow. As soon as these words were spoken, the whole audience was in an uproar. Do you have a boyfriend? Yi Qingru has a boyfriend. Doesn't that mean this confession is a drama? More importantly, Yi Qingru is a well-known cold and arrogant president who usually doesn't interact with men. How could she have a boyfriend? Or was she refusing on purpose? At this moment, after this sentence was spoken, not only the people around who were watching the fun, but also the employees in the company, and even Komari, were all stunned. Komari is with the chairman 24 hours a day, so how come she doesn't know that the chairman has a boyfriend? Chingru, stop joking. Everyone knows that you rarely interact with men. How could you have a boyfriend? I know, maybe I haven't done well enough, so you want to reject me, but it doesn't matter, I can wait. Until the day you like me. If one day doesn't work, I can wait 10 days. If 10 days doesn't work, I can wait 10 years. Yu Jingye smiled foolishly and said very sincerely. His heartfelt words aroused the sympathy of many people, who thought he was too infatuated and a perfect man. Even reporters began to do a close-up on him. Who said she doesn't have a boyfriend? Just when Yu Jingye's heartfelt dialogue caused quite a commotion, a man's voice sounded behind Yu Jingye. The sudden sound startled many people, and then everyone looked towards the source of the sound, even Yi Qingru and others looked over. I saw a boy about 1.8 meters tall, wearing casual clothes, a baseball cap and a mask walking towards me. This boy looks very young, but as he walked out, an invisible aura of a superior emanated from his body, making people feel like they wanted to worship him. Although his appearance could not be seen clearly, but from his eyes and his white, layered chin, everyone could be sure that he was a handsome guy, a very handsome man. Who are you? Yu Jingye looked at the man in surprise. In order to pursue Yi Qingru, he investigated almost everything about Yi Qingru. Chapter 39. We seem to be destined to each other. Who are you? Yu Jingye looked at the man in surprise. In order to pursue Yi Qingru, he investigated almost everything about Yi Qingru. But, according to the intelligence, there is no such man in front of me. Where did this man come from? Moreover, he was wearing a hat and a mask, as if he was afraid of being recognized by others. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Lin Yi. Her boyfriend. Lin Yi took off his hat and then his mask. As soon as the mask and hat were removed, there was a scream. So handsome. My idol, he is my idol Lin Yi, I know him. He sang a song called Liang Liang at Yuncheng High School yesterday and caused a sensation. Lin Yi, I love you so much. Lin Yi. It caused a sensation all around, especially among some female onlookers, who were almost going crazy. The scene was even more intense than any scene involving celebrities. Lin Yi. He is Lin Yi. The one that all the major entertainment companies are looking for to sign a contract with and promote him as an international superstar. Yes, it's him. Quick, take a picture. Lin Yi has a girlfriend, and she's Yi Qingru, the chairman of the Oriental Group. Oh my god. I'm going crazy, this news will definitely make a sensation in Yuncheng. The reporters were also shocked and started taking pictures of Lin Yi continuously. Lin Yi, my idol, is he the chairman's boyfriend? I'm heartbroken. Before, I thought I had found true love, but now, I've been betrayed by love. I don't believe in love anymore. Several girls in the company lobby squatted on the ground, hugged their knees and cried. If Lin Yi's girlfriend was someone else, it would be fine, but the problem is, his girlfriend is their immediate boss. How can they compete with others? Can they win? He is so handsome. When Yi Qingru saw the man's appearance clearly, she found that her heart was beating very fast, her face was flushed, and her breathing was a little short. She knew that this was the feeling of being in love. Originally, she thought that after becoming the chairman of the Oriental Group, she would never be able to have her own love in this life, and would never be able to find the man she loved. But, the moment she saw the man's appearance clearly, she found that she was wrong. It's not that she has no love, but that love has not come yet. Now, her love has finally come. She knew that this was the man she had been waiting for, the man she would protect all her life. When Yi Qingru stared at Lin Yi with wide eyes, Lin Yi revealed a wicked smile, blinked his left eye lightly, and gave Yi Qingru a charming look. Yi Qingru's whole body trembled, as if she was numbed by electricity. Her heart suddenly felt blocked and beat faster and faster. If the place wasn't full of people, she believed she would have pounced over long ago. So stylish, so handsome, so charming, I like him so much. Komari's eyes were watery and she looked at Lin Yi like a fangirl. How is it possible? How is it possible? Yu Jingye's face was extremely pale, and he didn't even notice that the flowers in his hand fell to the ground. He was an experienced man after all, and had seen countless men and women, but, how could he have seen such a handsome man in front of him? Being handsome was a small matter, but his temperament actually made him feel like he was from the countryside, and people treated him like an emperor, not even daring to look at him. This feeling is so noble, so perfect that it takes your breath away. Is he really Ichiro's boyfriend? Perhaps he is the only one who is worthy of Ichiro. Eugenia suffered great trauma. Since he started his business, people around him have called him perfect. There are countless women pursuing him, but, after he saw Lin Yi, his self-confidence was gone. Compared to him, I am not even as good as garbage. Lin Yi didn't look at the looks around him, but walked up to Ichiro, looked at her and said, "My dear, I'm late. I hope I didn't scare you." Lin Yi said to Ichiro with a smile. No. Ichiro looked at Lin Yi with obsessed eyes and shook her head vigorously. She was extremely happy in her heart. At this moment, she was not a chairman at all, but just a girl in love. That's good. Let's go, let's get out of here first. Lin Yi stretched out his hand and held Ichiro in his arms, and the two walked forward together. Ichiro did not resist. She snuggled into Lin Yi's arms like a little bird, enjoying the warmth to her heart's content. When the two of them left the scene, the eyes around them were filled with shock, jealousy, and resentment. However, the jealousy and resentment were mostly from the women, while the men all lowered their heads, completely losing confidence. "Hey! I don't know your name yet." Lin Yi hugged Ichiro and left the square, then asked in a low voice. Fortunately, no one suspected him just now. It would have been embarrassing if someone had suspected that he didn't even know his girlfriend's name. Ichiro was interrupted and quickly woke up. Her face turned red and she said shyly, "My name is Ichiro, the chairman of the Dongfang Group. What about you? They call you Lin Yi. Are you famous?" "Chairman of the Oriental Group." Lin Yi suffocated instantly. "Then, isn't that my immediate boss? This is embarrassing. The person who took the order was none other than his immediate superior? It's over. If this gets exposed, it will be disastrous. What's the matter with you?" Noticing that Lin Yi's face looked strange, Ichiro raised her head and looked at Lin Yi and asked. Nothing, it's just that we are quite compatible." Lin Yi said embarrassedly. "Destined? For example?" Ichiro didn't understand. "For example, I am your subordinate." Lin Yi said embarrassedly with a red face. Ichiro stopped and looked up at Lin Yi. "Are you an employee of the company?" Ichiro asked after a while. "This seems to be." Lin Yi's eyelids twitched and he said with an ashamed expression. "Puff." Ichiro covered her mouth and smiled, feeling like she was about to burst out laughing. "That's good." Ichiro laughed happily. The boyfriend she was looking for turned out to be an employee in the company. Was this destined by heaven? Or Ichiro's luck had changed? What do you mean it's great? I don't understand. Wait, how about that? Let's make things clear. Wait a minute. When Lin Yi saw Ichiro saying something inexplicable and leaving, he became anxious. This woman clearly has something else in her words. Chapter 40, The Most Vicious Woman's Heart. Mamoru-chan, make arrangements for all members of the company to gather in the lobby on the first floor and tell them that I have something important to announce. Ichiro stopped and gave instructions to Komari, who had followed her. Yes, Chairman. Komari glanced at Lin Yi several times before nodding quietly. In fact, she didn't want to do this, but the chairman's boyfriend was so handsome that she felt like she was in first love. After saying this, Komari immediately walked to the customer service desk and made a phone call. You want a meeting? Lin Yi asked curiously beside Ichiro. Right. Ichiro nodded. Then I'll step aside for a while. Lin Yi felt that it was not appropriate to stay here at this time. No, you're right next to me. Ichiro said. Well, okay then. Lin Yi thought about it and agreed. At this time, who says she is the boss? Soon, the employees who were working in the company came out of the elevator one after another. What the hell? I'm already soaked and I haven't changed yet. Gathering now? Gathering for what? Wang Jieshu had just received the call and started to complain in a very unhappy mood. Why did you gather at this time instead of earlier? This was the first time the company had encountered something like this. However, thinking that the other party was the chairman, she had to do it. Okay, let's put our work aside for now. The chairman has called everyone to gather in the lobby on the first floor. After arriving at the lobby of the Human Resources Department, Wang Jiashua gave instructions to her colleagues in the office. Yes, Mr. Wang. My colleagues packed up their things and went downstairs immediately. However, Wang Jiashua discovered that Zhang Na was tidying up Lin Yi's desk and helping him set up his desk. This vixen must be trying to seduce Lin Yi. Wang Jiashua knew very well what kind of vixen Zhang Na was. It was obvious that she was trying to steal her girl. No, when Lin Yi comes back, he must not be allowed to have anything to do with this vixen. Zhang Na, didn't you hear me? Hurry up and go upstairs. Wang Jiashua shouted. Yes. As soon as Zhang Na came to her senses, she dropped the work at hand and ran towards the elevator. What a vixen! As soon as Zhang Na left, Wang Jiashua quickly tore off the stickers on Lin Yi's desk. After tearing them off, she felt a lot more balanced. Then she showed a smug smile and walked downstairs. It's Lin Yi, so handsome. He's standing behind the chairman. I saw it too. Lin Yi is really handsome. I like this kind of man. He has a natural noble temperament, and his eyes can generate electricity. He is so handsome and has such a good figure. Oh my god. I think he is getting more and more handsome. I think so too. I'm ready for a relationship. Is Lin Yi the chairman's brother? Why do I feel that they look so alike? Their skin is so white, their eyes look similar, and even their chins are similar. Could it be that Lin Yi is the chairman's biological brother? No way. Lin Yi is the chairman's brother? Doesn't that mean he is the real prince of our group? It must be. When Wang Jiashua arrived at the first floor, the lobby was full of people from various departments of the company, especially some girls, who were talking about Lin Yi. Several bold girls even went over with pens and notebooks to ask for Lin Yi's autograph. Chairman's brother? Lin Yi is the chairman's brother? No way. Doesn't that mean I will be the boss lady of Dongfang Group in the future? It will be more honorable than my current position as the president. When Wang Jiashua thought of this, she became even more excited. She felt extremely excited at the thought of becoming the boss's wife in the future. Lin Yi is so great. He is actually the chairman's younger brother. I have to keep working hard to make Lin Yi truly fall in love with me. When Wang Jiashua was feeling excited, Zhang Na, who was not far in front of her, also started talking to herself, and Wang Jiashua happened to hear the sound of her talking to herself. This little bitch, I must teach her a lesson. She wants to steal my man, but she doesn't even look at what she looks like. Sparks appeared in Wang Jiashua's eyes. How could the happiness I have prepared be snatched away by this woman? Okay, the presidents and colleagues from all departments are here. Today, I want to announce something important to you. Just as people in the hall were talking non-stop, Yi Qingru finally spoke. This statement interrupted everyone's discussion and at the same time, made everyone quiet down and look at Yi Qingru. Everyone here knows that I became the chairman of the group because I inherited my father's business. I am far from being able to handle this important task in terms of experience and qualifications. So, I would like to take this opportunity to officially announce something today. Yi Qingru glanced at everyone in the audience and began her speech seriously. When she came to this point, she looked at Lin Yi. No way. The chairman wants to hand over the chairmanship to her brother. It must be like this. I never thought that Lin Yi, whom we usually ignore, would become the new helmsman. That's right. The chairman is a woman. It's normal for her to hand over the position to her younger brother. The moment Yi Qingru shifted her gaze to Lin Yi, everyone seemed to have guessed the result and started discussing excitedly, especially the girls, who were particularly excited. Doesn't this mean that as long as they can hook this prince, they will become the boss's wives? I believe everyone here is familiar with the gentleman next to me. Yes, he is Lin Yi, an employee of the company. In fact, in addition to this identity, he has another identity. When Yi Qingru saw the people below talking, she added another sentence. However, as soon as he said this, the whole place fell silent. Zhang Na and Wang Jiashua were both waiting expectantly for the answer, waiting for Yi Qingru to give up the power and position to Lin Yi. That's my boyfriend. Yi Qingru finally gave the final answer. As soon as these words were spoken, the whole audience was stunned, especially the women in the company, who were all stunned. No, isn't he the chairman's brother? The chairman came here to announce that she was going to give the chairman's position to her brother? How come the chairman's brother suddenly became her boyfriend? What on earth happened? Impossible, this is absolutely impossible. Wang Jieshue was about to collapse. He was the man she had chosen. She had already prepared for marriage and had agreed to do everything necessary for a wedding today. But at this time someone told her that Lin Yi was the other person's boyfriend. Could it be? Could it be that this woman had seduced Lin Yi before me? As expected, the most vicious ones are women. Chapter 41. The whole company is heartbroken. How is it possible? Zhang Na's whole body trembled, as if lightning had struck her mind. The day before yesterday, Lin Yi confessed to me and wanted me to be her girlfriend. But today, Lin Yi actually started dating the chairman. How come it's so fast? How could it be so fast? Zhang Na found that she had broken up and that she would never believe in love again. Without Lin Yi, she felt as if the sky had fallen down on her. Everything was grey and gloomy, without a trace of light. She had already missed this man once, and now, this man was going to leave her forever. How could she accept all this? It's not true. What I heard was not true. I must have heard it wrong. Lin Yi is the chairman's brother. How did he become the chairman's boyfriend? I'm heartbroken. I haven't even started dating Lin Yi yet. How could my Prince Charming be so frivolous? He was chased away so quickly. I want to cry, I feel so bad. I want to become a monk. The other women in the company gathered together and wiped their tears. Many of them squatted on the ground with their heads in their hands and cried. The originally quiet hall was now filled with cries. In addition, I also officially announced that Lin Yi will serve as the company's vice chairman. When I am not here, Lin Yi has all the decision-making power. Well, I have finished what I want to say, let's adjourn the meeting. Yi Qingru announced again. As soon as these words were spoken, the whole fell silent again. Vice chairman. And he also has any decision-making power? Doesn't this make Lin Yi the second most important person in the company? In the blink of an eye, it turned from a country chicken into a phoenix? To be honest, even Lin Yi was shocked. Before, he was just an ordinary 1.01 HR employee, and now he has become their vice president. Isn't this a big leap? No. Komari almost dropped her glasses. It was the first time she had met the chairman's boyfriend, and the chairman made this man the company's vice chairman. Was this definitely not a joke? Chairman, this is impossible. Lin Yi has no idea about the company's management. How can he take on such a big responsibility? Yes. Chairman. Chairman, please think twice. If you do this, you will ruin the company. Chairman. The CEOs and the older employees stood up anxiously. They knew the company too well. Now that the chairman was in this position, the company had already encountered numerous crises. Now that Lin Yi, who was from the Human Resources Department, was to be their vice chairman, wasn't this causing trouble? Yi Qingru was angry. He had his reasons for letting Lin Yi be their vice chairman, but he didn't know these guys wanted to stop her. There are 3 keys to the development of a group. The first key is business. Business means connections. If you want a company to develop, the people who manage the business department must first win people's hearts and satisfy customers. They must be polite to customers. The second key is quality. The quality of any product in the company must be good, and customers will be satisfied. The third key is management. Without good management, a large group will soon collapse. Just when Yi Qingru was angry, a man's voice sounded behind Yi Qingru. Yi Qingru heard the voice and saw who was speaking but Lin Yi. Moreover, this opening was completely shocking. Many people did not understand the truth, but now Lin Yi spoke it out. At this moment, not only him, but also the group of opposing CEOs and even the heartbroken girls, all looked at Lin Yi together. Even Zhang Na and Wang Jieshue, who were in despair, looked at Lin Yi in surprise. Lin Yi didn't care about the looks of these people and continued to speak. These past few days, I have been observing the problems within the company. Why did the company's performance decline after the chairman took office? Why did the company get infected with a virus that almost took over the company? And why did many customers become so powerful? Even some old partners chose to leave. I think all the presidents and managers present here are very confused about this, right? Lin Yi smiled and said, in the final analysis, this problem is still caused by conflicts within the company. As soon as the chairman took over the company, the people below began to be dissatisfied and even resorted to various means, such as selling information to business rivals, or leading the team to turn to other companies, and even, some people stole some important things from the company. On the surface, these are all small things. But have you ever thought about how much damage it would cause to the company if one item was missing from the customer's items, or the quality was not up to standard, or the customer's attitude was a little wrong when contacting? I'm sure everyone here understands this very well. Of course, the emergence of such contradictions in the company is still a problem of management level. As the saying goes, a new emperor appoints new ministers. The old chairman stepped down and the new chairman took over. Various loopholes and contradictions appeared together. The backbone of the company became resident insects at this time. If I am not mistaken, the current president of the business department has resigned, the quality of the factory's products has begun to deteriorate, and there are even delays in delivery. In other words, the factory is beginning to be short of workers. I wonder if my analysis is correct. Lin Yi glanced at the president and the old employees present and said domineeringly. As soon as this domineering tone came out, everyone trembled and was completely conquered by this momentum. They were originally unwilling to accept it, but now they were all full of admiration. Many things in the company are suppressed by some departments, because once they are exposed, it means exposing the company's shortcomings, and they cannot even afford the blame from above. But Lin Yi, who works in the Human Resources Department, made no mistakes in his analysis. The other presidents all blushed and felt ashamed. They realized that it was wrong to say anything, and it was also wrong not to say anything. I understand your thoughts. If something like this happens in your department and it is reported to the higher-ups, there will be two situations. The first is that you will be punished by the higher-ups, and the second is that you will be fired or even held legally responsible. So you have no choice but to conceal it, but do you know the consequences of concealing it? Let me tell you, the consequence is that the company will be in disarray and will become worse and worse. It may even face collapse. When Lin Yi said this, the CEOs and people from various departments all turned pale. Not only them, even Yi Qingru was dumbfounded. Chapter 42 The Perfect Man. She had always thought that the company had all kinds of problems because of her lack of ability and the people around her were plotting against her. That was why the company had these problems, but after Lin Yi's explanation, she found that she was wrong. It turned out that the problem was inside the company and no one had even reported it to her. However, at this moment, she was more shocked by Lin Yi. Lin Yi was just an employee in the company's Human Resources Department and her shared boyfriend, but he actually knew so much, and every word of his analysis was correct, even better than her, a Harvard graduate. Who is he? An ordinary employee in the company. He was so handsome, so elegant, so charming. Now he is still so talented, and he knows everything about economics, and his analysis is very reasonable. Could it be? Could it be that God really gave me a perfect boyfriend? How can he know so much? Wang Jieshue has come out of her sadness and is now extremely shocked. After thinking about it carefully, she realized that keeping Lin Yi in the Human Resources Department was a waste of this talent. With such talent, he was more than qualified to be a vice chairman. Especially the last few words, which completely shocked her. A company is divided into multiple departments for the convenience of management, but once they don't work together, what is the difference between them and a pile of loose sand? So talented. Zhang Na was completely attracted by Lin Yi's words. In the past, she was attracted by Lin Yi's appearance, but now, she found that what attracted her more was Lin Yi's talent. In the past, when Lin Yi was sitting next to her, she could not see any talents in Lin Yi at all, but just now, she really got to know Lin Yi. Lin Yi is increasingly becoming a man with such ability and talent. Although Lin Yi is now the chairman's boyfriend, Zhang Na feels that she likes him more. Even if she is the little woman behind him, she doesn't care. Amazing. Lin Yi has spotted all the shortcomings in the company, and his analysis is very reasonable. Yeah. So talented. Too bad, he already has a girlfriend. What's wrong with having a girlfriend? Aren't you still married? That means I still have a chance. Why do I feel like I love Lin Yi more now? Me too. The way Lin Yi spoke just now, and that masculine charm, made me fall in love. I'm so excited. The group of heartbroken girls in the company gathered together and started talking again, and they became more and more excited. Even a few brave girls blushed and wanted to pounce on Lin Yi immediately. Then what methods do you have to resolve conflicts in the company? A financial president looked at Lin Yi anxiously and asked. Similarly, this is also the voice of everyone. It's simple. Drive these resident bugs out of the company and replace them with fresh blood. Lin Yi said bluntly. What? Replace with fresh blood? This. The CFO was frightened. You know, this could hurt the foundation. I know you must be worried that this will cause great harm to the company. But have you ever thought that this is also an opportunity for the people below to be promoted? I believe that the old employees who have worked in the company for several years are standing still. Are you sure that their abilities are worse than those of the people above them? No, they just lack an opportunity. If everyone here trusts me, give me a week. Within a week, I, Lin Yi, will resolve all these conflicts. Lin Yi said solemnly. As soon as Lin Yi finished speaking, more and more voices of discussion appeared below. Lin Yi did not continue to speak, but looked at Yi Qingru and said, Qingru, I have finished what I want to say, let's go. Lin Yi felt that it was time to leave, because these people needed to digest those words. Good. As soon as Yi Qingru came to her senses, she nodded excitedly. It's great, it's just brilliant. Lin Yi suddenly stood up and gave a speech that completely touched the hearts of all the employees in the company. Many people want to upgrade, but they have never had the chance. Now Lin Yi's words will undoubtedly give them a huge opportunity. Moreover, as Lin Yi said, if Zhu Chong stays in the company, it will only harm the company. If Zhu Chong is replaced with fresh blood, it is conceivable how much help it will be to the company. Soon, Yi Qingru and Xiao Mai followed Lin Yi into the elevator, and the elevator went upstairs. Great, I think what Lin Yi said makes a lot of sense. Yes. He is amazing and talented. If we do as he says, a new scene will emerge in the company. Lin Yi is assigned to the Human Resources Department. Could he be an undercover agent sent by the chairman? Who knows? Anyway, Lin Yi's plan is good and can be implemented. No, I'll go back and write a plan, and then ask Lin Yi about what to do next. Me too. That is so cool, I love it. Me too, this is what a domineering CEO looks like, I like it. I'm going crazy. I know he already has a girlfriend, but I love him more and more. What should I do? What should I do? As soon as Lin Yi left, all kinds of discussions started boiling up, and the whole hall was like a market. The group of women who had given up on Lin Yi became even more fanatical at this moment. Lin Yi, you are so amazing. Your analysis is so good. In the elevator, Yi Qingru looked at Lin Yi with a smile and hugged Lin Yi's arm as if he were a treasure. This is the most common problem in economic management. If you don't give me the power, I won't dare to say these words. Once I say them, I will offend the entire company, and I will be the one who will die. Lin Yi rolled his eyes. With the ability of super business management, Lin Yi can be said to be invincible in business management. How could such a small problem stump him? So serious. Yi Qingru was startled. Even Komari looked at Lin Yi with her little face flushed. This man looks so good that girls can be moved at first sight, and now he is so talented. Isn't this a naked seduction? Moreover, Kumaro is the chairman's personal secretary. He is even very close to Lin Yi. Kumaro finds that if she continues like this, she will not be able to control herself. Actually, this isn't serious. As long as we prescribe the right medicine, it can be easily resolved. Lin Yi comforted. Kindness. Yi Qingru nodded obsessively. Half an hour ago, I was still a bewildered person, but now, when Lin Yi came to my side, I not only felt very warm, but also felt like a little girl snuggling in her boyfriend's arms. Warm and very comfortable. Chapter 43, To Dive or Not to Dive. We're here. The elevator stopped at the 17th floor, and Lin Yi and Yi Qingru walked out of the elevator together. Hello, Komari, go sort out the documents and send them to my office later. I have something to talk to Lin. Director Lin now. After walking out of the elevator, Yi Qingru instructed Komari. Oh. Komari looked at Lin Yi reluctantly, then went to do her work. Bring it on. Yi Qingru took Lin Yi's hand and came to her office. As soon as he entered the office, Lin Yi was really shocked. He found that there was no employee office on the 17th floor, but a luxury suite, which happened to be Yi Qingru's chairman's office. Is this your house? Why is it so big? Lin Yi looked at the magnificent decorations and was immediately dazzled. If you like it, I'll give it to you. Yi Qingru smiled sweetly. This. Lin Yi hesitated. Why did he feel that the tone and eyes were strange? Although he was very moved, Lin Yi could not be moved by it. Forget it. I'm not used to your office if it's given to me. Lin Yi wiped his nose and said modestly. Puff. Yi Qingru covered her mouth and smiled, then pulled Lin Yi to sit on the sofa, looked at Lin Yi seriously and said, Lin Yi, can you tell me about your story? My business? My business what? Lin Yi asked curiously. What an idiot. Of course it's your job. You are an employee of the company, why, are you still a shared boyfriend? When Yi Qingru mentioned the name of her shared boyfriend, she felt a little sad, as if her favorite toy had been played with by someone else. This. Lin Yi found that he didn't know how to answer. He couldn't just say, I got a system. Is it because the salary in the HR department is too low? That's right. I remember that the average colleague in the HR department only made 6,500 a month. For a man, this is indeed a bit too little. How about this? After you become the vice chairman of the company, I will raise your salary to 100,000 a month. If you can help the company get through this difficult time, I will raise your salary to 150,000. This way, you don't have to worry about running out of money. Yi Qingru suggested confidently. To be honest, Lin Yi was tempted. 100,000 or 150,000 a month, wasn't this what he had always dreamed of? Oh well. Lin Yi pondered for a moment, then nodded. That's more like it, but you have to go to work and help me. In the company, I, as the president, am not as familiar with the company as you employees, so I was schemed against by someone with ulterior motives. Yi Qingru thought for a moment and looked at Lin Yidao seriously. No problem. If you have any problems, I can help you solve them within the lease period. Lin Yi guaranteed. All the requests she put forward have become her own abilities, combined with the previous abilities. Now that she wants to resolve these conflicts in the company, Lin Yi doesn't take it to heart. What do you mean you can complete it for me within the lease period? Lin Yi, I don't have a lease period for you. Yi Qingru said seriously. No lease. Lin Yi didn't understand. You're my boyfriend, so of course there's no lease period. I now officially declare that you're my permanent boyfriend. Yi Qingru said domineeringly. That. Lin Yi was anxious. Was this woman too domineering? How can you make me your permanent wife without my consent? Besides, I am just your shared boyfriend. Hello, Komari, sort out the documents for my husband. I'm going to change my clothes. Also, tell Mr. Sun that I'll treat you to lunch today. By the way, prepare a high-end suit for my husband. After Yi Qingru finished speaking, she walked straight into the room without waiting for Lin Yi's consent. Yes, Chairman. Komari came in after sorting out some documents, and at the same time responded to Yi Qingru. After making sure that Yi Qingru's door was closed, Komari walked towards Lin Yi with a red face, shy and nervous, and a guilty expression. Lin Dong, this is a document. Komari glanced at Lin Yi, then handed the document to Lin Yi. Okay, put it aside. I'll deal with it later. Lin Yi responded with a smile. However, just as Lin Yi responded, Komari took out a small note and stuffed it into Lin Yi's hand. After doing so, she immediately covered her red face and turned away. This girl is so mysterious, what is this? Lin Yi smiled bitterly and opened the note with his hand. This sentence was written on it. I like you. I am willing to be your little woman. You can sneak up on me anytime. This sentence appeared on the note. Lin Yi's smile froze instantly. What does this mean? Isn't this telling Lin Yi that you can cheat at any time? And you don't have to take responsibility. As long as the chairman is not around, you can do whatever you want. No way. I finally escaped from Wang Jieshue's dangerous office, but now I'm being targeted again. You see, I just got together with your chairman, and then, you, a secretary, set your sights on me? Knock, knock. Before Lin Yi could come to his senses, there was a knock on the door. Come in. Lin Yi replied. The door was pushed open, and a successful woman in her 30s walked in with documents in her hands. Director Lin. The woman smiled and called Lin Yi. Well, hello. May I ask who you are? Lin Yi looked at the woman and asked. I'm the lobby manager. My name is Wan Wan. Director Lin can just call me Xia Wan. The woman smiled charmingly, then sat down, glancing around and saying, Is Director Yi not here? I'm taking a shower in the room. Come, sit over here, Manager Wan. Lin Yi invited. No, I have something else to do. This is the information I wrote, maybe it will be useful to Director Lin. Wan Wan said with a smile and handed the information in her hand to Lin Yi. When she handed it over, she also handed over a heart-shaped peach folded from cartoon paper. After handing it over, she turned around and ran away with a red face. What's going on? Lin Yi was stunned. Komari handed over one, and now the lobby manager handed over another. So, out of curiosity, Lin Yi opened the heart-shaped peach, and after opening it, he found it was covered with words. When I first saw you, I fell deeply in love with you. I don't ask to be your wife, but I ask you to love me once. I will always love you, my little lover. Forever. After reading these words, Lin Yi's forehead was covered with sweat. This is over. When others get promoted, they always use their hidden rules on their female subordinates. Now, he gets promoted, but it turns out that his female subordinates are automatically offering their hidden rules to him. To dive or not to dive? Knock, knock. There was another knock on the door. Come in. Lin Yi frowned and shouted. Chapter 44. The women in the entire company are obsessed with him. Director Lin, this is the report I wrote, please take a look. Director Lin. Lin Yi received more than 50 reports within half an hour, and all the people who handed in the reports were women in the company. From the president level to the ordinary employees, without exception, everyone submitted a report full of enthusiasm. However, there were small notes attached to the reports they handed in. The meaning of each note is almost the same, I am willing to be your lover. After seeing off the last employee, Lin Yi suddenly felt a little overwhelmed. In the company, if you haven't announced that you have a girlfriend, the women in the company are just secretly in love with you, and there are only 2 people who really pursue you. But, after Yi Qingruo's announcement just now, not only did it not force these people to retreat, but it made them more proactive. Lin Yi carefully counted the women in the building at present, and found that there were about 100 women. Now, 58 women handed him notes, which meant that nearly 60% of the women were interested in him. I didn't expect you to be so active in your work. In just half an hour, you received so many reports. At this time, Yi Qingru had finished her shower and changed into a noble dress for women. She let her hair down and put on light lipstick on her lips. She looked like a princess from a fairy tale. Moreover, if you don't look carefully, you would really think that the woman in front of you is a different person from Yi Qingru before. Even Lin Yi was a little dazed, because Yi Qingru looked even more beautiful in this outfit. Hey! What is this? Yi Qingru soon discovered that Lin Yi's drawer was filled with various small notes. She remembered that when she sat here, there were no small notes. How come there are so many now? This. When Lin Yi saw this, he cried out in his heart that something was wrong and hurried to pick up the notes. However, when he put them away, Yi Qingru caught 2 of them. Yi Qingru spread them out and saw the disgusting words on them, which made her eyes full of anger. Lin Yi, before, I was only attracted by your appearance, but today, I found that I was completely impressed by your talent. Originally, I thought we could live together, but now, since you are already the chairman's boyfriend, I don't ask to marry you, I just want to be your lover, love you, Shaw. Lin Yi, let's be lovers. I like you so much. After reading the 2 notes, Yi Qingru clenched her fists and quickly went to grab the other notes, all of which were filled with disgusting words. It's outrageous, it's simply outrageous. Yi Qingru was furious. Her boyfriend had announced this matter in front of these women. As a result, these women took the opportunity to pass on the report forms and slipped small notes between them. The contents of these little notes were actually about poaching. I have seen many shameless women, but I have never seen such a shameless woman. Lin Yi, you are not allowed to have any contact with them, understand? Yi Qingru was anxious and angry, her eyes were red with anger, and tears even seeped out of the corners of her eyes. She looked at Lin Yidao with sadness and grievance. It was only the first day they were together and she was being spied on by another woman. How could she not be angry? I'm not that kind of person. Lin Yi guaranteed. I don't believe it. Yi Qingru didn't believe it. Aren't all men greedy? With so many women confessing their love to him, it would be strange if he didn't have any thoughts. Come on. If I had an idea, why didn't I have it before I met you? Besides, if I had an idea, I would show you these things. Lin Yi rolled his eyes and said, besides, none of them is as pretty as you. Puff. Yi Qingru covered her mouth and smiled, instantly amused by Lin Yi. That's good enough. From now on, I will be with you every day. Wherever I go, you have to go with me. In addition, besides me, you are only allowed to talk to Komari. No other women are allowed. Lin Yi's forehead was full of black lines. Don't you know that the first person to pass the note was Komari? Chairman, the suit is ready. Just at this moment, Komari pushed open the door and walked in. Good. Yi Qingru smiled and nodded, looking at Lin Yi and said, Lin Yi, quickly change into your suit and come with me to a social gathering at noon. The person I'm attending is Sun Chuanwen. This old pervert has always been trying to do something bad to me, and this time he even forced me to attend his dinner. If I don't go, he'll cancel the cooperation between our two companies. It's really abominable. Yi Qingru became unhappy when this matter was mentioned, but she doesn't have to be afraid now because she has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend is very talented and knows more about business than she does. If he and I come forward, these problems will definitely be solved. No problem. Lin Yi nodded. Didn't he come here to help Yi Qingru solve her troubles? What was this little thing? Help Lin Yi change his clothes quickly. He needs to look more handsome, okay? Yi Qingru instructed Komari. Yes, Chairman. Komari pursed her lips and nodded. Director Lin, please come in. I'd better do it myself. Lin Yi wanted to refuse. You. Don't refuse. Yumaru-chen used to be a senior image designer. You will definitely look more handsome if she designs you. Yi Qingru said with a smile. Well, okay then. Lin Yi always felt that something was wrong, but under Yi Qingru's insistence, Lin Yi agreed. So, at the invitation of Komari, he walked into the room. Humph. You are a bunch of vixens. You dare to seduce my boyfriend. I will let you seduce me, I will let you seduce me. Lin Yi and Xiaomai entered the room. Yi Qingru transferred her anger to the notes and kept tearing them up with her hands. Director Lin, let me help you take off your clothes. After the door was closed, Komari's rosy little face moved closer and a soft, feminine voice came out of her mouth. Lin Yi even felt that Komari's breathing was a little hurried at this moment. I'll do it myself. Lin Yi felt a little embarrassed. A man and a woman, sharing a room. And this woman is plotting against him. Is this really appropriate? Or, let me do it. Komari stopped Lin Yi and said shyly, I am a professional. Lin Yi was a little confused. What do you mean by professional? Even taking off clothes requires professionalism. After taking off the t-shirt, Komari suddenly covered her mouth with one hand, her face flushed, and her eyes widened as she looked at the scene in front of her. Chapter 45. Are all women so scary? Six-pack abs, perfect mermaid lines, sexy body. Is there really such a perfect body in the world? His face is perfect enough, his temperament is crazy enough, and he has a talent that makes countless women scream. Today, his figure is still so perfect. As a woman, Komari found herself almost losing control of herself. Too sexy, too perfect, too charming. She swore that this was definitely the most perfect body she had ever seen. That. Lin Yi interrupted Komari awkwardly. I'm sorry. I'll change Mr. Lin's clothes right away. Komari's hands were shaking a little, and then she took the shirt and put it on Lin Yi. However, when Komari was putting the shirt on Lin Yi, she made several mistakes. For example, the first one was that one button was buttoned up and the other was down. So, Komari buttoned it again, but while buttoning it, her fingers lightly touched Lin Yi's chest a few times. There was another one. Komari accidentally twisted her foot and threw her whole body into Lin Yi's arms, holding him tightly with her hands and kissing his chest. For some reason, Lin Yi always felt that Komari did it on purpose. Does simply putting on a shirt require so many procedures? I changed your pants. Xiaomai looked at Lin Yi with red eyes, as if her heart was about to jump out, and said softly to Lin Yi, I'd better do it myself. This is really inappropriate. Lin Yi didn't want to make the same mistake as before. That kind of food would be so embarrassing. Let me do it. Komari squatted down and quickly tried to unbuckle her belt with her hands. Lin Yi wanted to resist. However, at this time, it was not known whether it was because Komari used too much force or because the speed was too fast. Lin Yi's pants were pulled down, and the problem was, they were pulled too far. Komari screamed, covered her mouth with her hands, and stared at the scene in front of her with wide eyes. Lin Yi sensed something was wrong and couldn't help feeling embarrassed. Don't move. Komari stopped Lin Yi. What are you doing? Lin Yi struggled. However, as soon as Lin Yi struggled, Komari pounced on him. About half an hour later, the door opened, and Komari wiped her mouth with her hand, her face blushing, and walked out of the room shyly. Have you changed? Yi Qingru saw Komari coming out, so she walked over and asked. Yes, it's changed. Komari pursed her lips and nodded. Just change it. Yi Qingru smiled and nodded. Hey. Komari, what's that on the corner of your mouth? I always tell you to remember to wipe your mouth after breakfast, but look at you, it's been there since morning. When Komari heard this, her face turned even redder and she was startled for a moment. Then she moved her hand and wiped the stuff from the corner of her mouth clean. I'm really defeated by you. Yi Qingru rolled her eyes at Xiaomai. Crack. Just at this moment, the door was pushed open, and Lin Yi walked out of the room with a hint of fatigue. He changed into a suit and did his hair. From a distance, all the young and handsome guys in the entertainment industry and the handsome Korean guys were simply trash compared to Lin Yi. Such eyes, such temperament, and such handsomeness can definitely kill all men in seconds. So handsome. Yi Qingru's eyes lit up and she quickly ran towards Lin Yi. Lin Yi, I didn't expect you to look so handsome in a suit. Yi Qingru hugged Lin Yi's arm, as excited as a little girl. I am a walking clothes rack. I look good in anything I wear. Lin Yi replied. I'm complimenting you, you're really amazing. You're not Yumaru-chan, if you weren't Yumaru-chan, would you be so handsome? Yi Qingru rolled her eyes. Mamoru-chan. Thinking of the scene just now, Lin Yaman's forehead was full of black lines. No, I must never be alone with this woman again. Chairman, I'll go downstairs to prepare the car first. I don't know whether Komari was feeling guilty or was afraid of exposing her flaws, but at this moment, she immediately walked downstairs. Go ahead. We'll be down right away. Yi Qingru said happily. Okay. Komari responded and closed the door. Lin Yi, let me tell you about today's dinner first, wait a minute. Yi Qingru pulled Lin Yi to sit down, and then told him everything she needed to pay attention to at the dinner party. After all, Lin Yi had never attended such a dinner party before, so he was inevitably unfamiliar with it. Therefore, she had to say some things in advance to avoid being tricked by Sun Chuanwen. Good. Lin Yi listened very carefully. Wanher Tower. On the third floor, in a private room. Xiao Wu, come and pour the wine later. Give the 2 glasses of wine with the charm drug to Yi Qingru and her secretary. After that, turn on the camera for me. Today, I will not only have sex with those 2 girls myself, but also take a video of them being pressed under me. By then, not only will they become my women, but even the Oriental group will be mine, har har. Sun Chuanwen said to a fat woman next to him with an evil grin. This fat woman is the manager of Wanherlu. She was also promoted by Sun Chuanwen. Whether this trip will be successful depends entirely on this woman. Don't worry, Mr. Sunday. This is not the first time we have played this kind of game. Isn't it just about giving some drugs and taking a video? I guarantee that I will complete the task. However, I hope that after the task is completed, Mr. Sun will give me a promotion. Xiao Wu grinned. As the manager of Wanherlu, I have no idea how many times I have played this kind of thing with those wealthy men, and no woman can escape from the clutches of the wealthy men. This time, Sun Chuanwen's request was too easy for her. That's great, har har. Go make the arrangements quickly. The people will be here soon. Sun Chuanwen waved his hand. Yes, Mr. Sun. When Xiaowu heard this, he immediately pushed the door and walked out. As soon as Xiaowu pushed the door and walked into the corridor, he heard a burst of discussion among the waiters and diners in the corridor. So handsome. Is he a celebrity? It must be a star, it must be. I really like this type. A bunch of crazy people. Xiaowu didn't take it seriously at all. He just glanced at him with contempt and walked away. However, when she was about to leave, she saw a beautiful woman in a skirt walking up to her. The woman was very beautiful, absolutely as beautiful as an angel. However, what attracted Xiaowu more was the man in a suit next to the beautiful woman. The man was tall and thin, with a pointed white chin and a long white nose. His face was as if cut by a sharp knife, with distinct angles. A noble, almost perfect aura emanated from the man. When Xiaowu saw the man clearly, he was completely stunned. The reason why she is so fat is that she suffered a breakup when she was young, and as a result she started eating a lot and ended up like this. Chapter 46, Bad Intentions. After that, I no longer believed in love and felt that all men in this world were liars. However, after Xiaowu saw the man's appearance clearly, she found herself in love again. So handsome, so stylish, so perfect, so crazy. Excuse me, where is box 13? When Xiaowu was completely shocked, the handsome man walked towards him and asked with a smile. It's the third room on the left. Xiaowu spoke instinctively. Okay, thanks. Lin Yi said with a smile, then said to Yi Qingru beside him, let's go. Okay. Yi Qingru and Komari followed behind. Xiaowu watched them leave, still stupid, not seeming to wake up at all. Then he trembled all over. Going to box 13, then not to Mr. Sun's box. Could it be that they are? Manager, who is that little brother? He's so handsome. Yes. He's so perfect, the most handsome and elegant man I've ever seen. I really want to fall in love with him. Manager, you just talk to him. Can you help me make a match? I would definitely thank you. Just let me hold his hand. I'm deeply in love with him. Several waitresses came closer and spoke to Xiaowu. He is my. Xiaowu smiled evilly, his pupils shrank, and he licked his dry lips. She knew that her spring had come, and with that medicine and that video, that man would belong to her. Xiaowu didn't think much about it and directly called Sun Chuanwen and said to the phone, Mr. Sun, there was another man who went in with Yi Qingru. That man is left to me. After saying that, he hung up the phone, turned around and walked away with a wicked smile. Xiaowu's words left the waiters nearby at a loss. Why did they feel these words were so strange? Another man came. Leave it to her. The call Sun Chuanwen received was somewhat puzzling. He knew that Xiaowu didn't like men, but why did he feel like spring had come to Xiaowu on the phone? However, he didn't care. What he wanted was Yi Qingru and the Oriental group. Crack. The door opened and 3 people walked in, 2 women and an incredibly good-looking man. Both women were very beautiful, especially the one in the skirt, who was simply as beautiful as a fairy. But, after the man in a suit stood in front of her, this beautiful woman seemed a little overshadowed, and even made people feel that this woman was just a little maid. Even Sun Chuanwen, who is a man, couldn't help but look at this man a few times, because this man is so handsome. Mr. Sun, we are late. Let me introduce you, this is my boyfriend Lin Yi. Yi Qingru walked over and introduced Lin Eli to Sun Chuanwen. Lin Yi, this is Mr. Sun, the president of the Sun Group. Yi Qingru introduced Sun Chuanwen again. Mr. Sun. Lin Yi smiled calmly and extended his hand to shake hands. Sun Chuanwen was still thinking about what Yi Qingru had said when she introduced Lin Isha. It had only been a few days and Yi Qingru already had a boyfriend, and she even brought him to a dinner party. Didn't this tell him that she had a man? However, as soon as Lin Yi interrupted him, he immediately came to his senses. Mr. Lin is truly a young talent. He can even win over a legendary woman like Ms. Yi. I admire you so much. Sun Chuanwen still suppressed his reluctance, because he knew that in a moment, Yi Qingru would not only become his woman, but also Yi Qingru's company would belong to him. As for the man in front of him, just leave him to Xiaowu. Then let Xiaowu shoot a video and make him a slave for life. Boss Sun is really good at joking. Qingru and I have known each other since college. Since then, I have been developing my career overseas. I heard that Qingru's company had some problems recently, so I came back to help her. Lin Yi opened the river channel at random. It turns out that Mr. Lin and Mr. Yi are classmates. I wonder what Mr. Lin does. Sun Chuanwen then understood why Yi Qingru suddenly had a boyfriend. It turned out that they had known each other for a long time. We develop electronic software, such as mobile phone software, car software, computer software, and various Microsoft software. Lin Yi smiled. Microsoft. Sun Chuanwen was shocked. This guy actually works for Microsoft, hee. That's perfect, our Sun Group is also in this business, but unfortunately, our technology is far inferior to that of the United States. If I take a video of him and Xiaowu doing that and blackmail him, will I also get his company? Okay, let's do it. Sun Chuanwen began to think evilly. I'm going to. Lin Yi was just making up an excuse for himself, but he didn't know that he heard a voice in his heart, and this voice scared him. Filming a video? What on earth is this old bastard trying to do? Moreover, they filmed a video of him and a man named Xiaowu and used it to threaten him. Har. It just so happens that our Sun Group is also involved in Microsoft. Mr. Lin, I hope that our two companies can cooperate in the future. Sun Chuanwen said with a smile. Lin Yi didn't say anything, because he knew that the old guy was acting on purpose. Crack. At this moment, the door was pushed open and a fat woman came in carrying wine and glasses. I heard a magpie calling early in the morning. It turned out that Mr. Sun and Mr. Yi came. Xiaowu will treat you to today's drinks. As soon as the fat woman came in, she spoke directly and boldly. Xiaowu. She is Xiaowu. When Lin Yi saw the fat woman clearly, he broke out in a cold sweat. Wasn't this the fat man he met when he entered the house? At first, Lin Yi thought she was a man. But, unexpectedly, she was Xiaowu. At this time, Lin Yi finally understood what Sun Chuanwen meant. Little handsome boy, after you drink the magic wine in my hand, you will belong to me. I will serve you well. Lin Yi hadn't wiped off the cold sweat yet when the fat girl named Xiaowu's voice rang out. Scold the guy next door, drugged him. No wonder Yi Qingru insisted on having him come along, so Sun Chuanwen was so shameless. However, now that it has been discovered, don't blame Lin Yi for being ruthless. Har. Xiaowu. You are too polite. If you treat us to a drink, what if we drink several bottles of wine worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Wouldn't you be at a big loss? As for the wine, I'll treat you. When Sun Chuanwen saw Xiaowu coming in, he pretended to be very familiar with him, but as if they were meeting suddenly, he also spoke in a heroic manner. No way, who are you and Mr. Yi? They are both well-known figures in my Yuncheng. You are so kind to come and give me a chance. What does this little bit of wine cost? Here, this wine. I'll buy it. Just consider it a chance to get to know you all. Chapter 47. This wine must be drunk. Xiaowu was very good at talking. He took out 5 bottles directly, opened the bottles and poured the wine directly. Hee. The charm drug on the cup is colorless and tasteless. After drinking it, it will definitely take effect in less than 3 minutes. Then the 2 little bitches will accompany Mr. Sun, and the handsome boy will be mine. Once the video is shot, I can get the handsome boy forever. Har. I am excited just thinking about it. As he poured the wine, Xiaowu's heart was completely filled with excitement. Fuck you, they installed a video and filmed it. Damn, it's disgusting. They want to keep me as a slave for the rest of my life. Lin Yi was sweating profusely. Just the appearance of this fat man made him sick. If that kind of thing really happened, he would definitely collapse. Didn't you guys drug me? Didn't you want to film a video? I'll let you do it, and I'll let you film it. So, Lin Yi took out his mobile phone and used super hacking technology to set up a program in the phone. Har. Sister Xiaowu is really straightforward. Mr. Yi. This is the manager and boss of Wanhelu. Sister Xiaowu is a very straightforward person. You two will become good friends. Sun Chuanwen agreed with a smile at this moment, and also specially introduced Xiaowu to Yi Qingru. Little fifth sister. Yi Qingru called out with a smile. Everyone says that Ms. Yi is the most beautiful woman in Yuncheng. After seeing her today, I find that her reputation is well deserved. Come, I'll toast you a glass. And that handsome boy and that beautiful girl, let's drink together. Xiaowu had already poured the wine and invited Lin Yi, Yi Qingru, and Xiaomai to come and drink together. Sister Xiaowu is so straightforward, I have to drink this wine. Lin Yi took back his phone and walked over with a smile, then I'll drink first as a sign of respect. Lin Yi's hand immediately reached out for a cup, and in that short moment, Lin Yi had already switched the cup. After taking a glass of wine, he picked it up and drank it. Good, good. So straightforward, worthy of being Mr. Lin, good. Sun Chuanwen laughed excitedly. Because, he saw with his own eyes Lin Yi drinking a glass of drugged wine. Xiaowu, who was standing next to him, had his eyes lighting up. Qingru, everyone is having such a great time, why don't you have a drink too? Lin Yi also grabbed a cup and handed it to Yi Qingru. But, I can't drink. Yi Qingru said a little nervously. Why wouldn't we drink? Everyone is so happy, so why wouldn't we drink? Isn't that right? Lin Yi turned and said to Sun Chuanwen and Xiao Wu. Yes, 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 Mr. Yi, don't you want to give face to me, Mr. Sun? Drink it. Yi Dong. Xiao Wu and Sun Chuanwen shouted together. Oh well. Yi Qingru couldn't stop them, so she had to drink the whole cup in one gulp. After finishing it, her face turned red. Well. Sun Chuanwen and Xiao Wu cheered. After seeing this, Lin Yi poured himself another glass of wine and said, Sister Xiaowu, Mr. Sun, you are the most straightforward people I have ever met. Come, for our acquaintance, how about the three of us have a drink? Good. When Sun Chuanwen and Xiaowu heard this, they immediately burst into laughter. They each raised their glass, clinked glasses with Lin Yi, and drank it down in big gulps. Lin Yi, drink less, this alcohol is strong. Yi Qingru pulled Lin Yi's clothes. It's okay. This little bit of wine won't bother me. Lin Yi said as if nothing had happened. That's right, Mr. Lin is right, this little bit of wine is nothing, nothing. When Xiao Wu was about to speak for Lin Yi, the cup in his hand suddenly fell to the ground. He felt a little dizzy, and then sat directly on the chair, his mind seemed to be out of control. Why is this wine so strong? Xiao Wu, what kind of wine did you get? Sun Chuanwen also sat down and began to pull at his clothes. His mind was obviously not clear and his tongue was even tied. Sister Xiaowu, Mr. Sun, what's wrong with you? Lin Yi put down the cup and said with a deliberately surprised expression. No. It's okay, continue, keep drinking. Sun Chuanwen waved his hand and wanted to continue pouring the wine, but his body staggered and fell to the side, directly into Xiaowu's arms. As soon as he fell into Xiaowu's arms, Xiaowu showed a strange and evil smile on his face, and hugged Sun Chuanwen tightly. Xiaowu, you are so sexy today. Hate it, Mr. Sun, you are making fun of me again. It's so annoying. Sun Chuanwen also showed an extremely ambiguous look and smile in his eyes, and his hand supported Xiaowu's fat face. Xiaowu also showed an extremely ambiguous and shy expression. Judging from his eyes and expression, it was clearly full of affection. This. Yi Qingru was frightened by the sudden change in front of her eyes. She was drinking so happily just now, how could the scene suddenly become like this? Aren't they afraid of being an eyesore? They. Yi Qingru looked at Lin Yi anxiously, and then looked at Sun Chuanwen and Xiao Wu nervously. If they continued like this, something would definitely happen to them. They seem drunk. Lin Yi replied. Drunk. Yi Qingru was a little unconvinced. Sun Chuanwen was a famous wine drinker. He would get drunk after one glass. As for Xiaowu, she was the boss of the 9th floor. How could the owner of a restaurant not be able to drink? They are still a drunk couple. Lin Yi added. A drunk couple. Yi Qingru was stunned, and then looked towards Sun Chuanwen and Xiao Wu. It would have been fine if she hadn't looked at them, but when she did, she was completely frightened. Yi Qingru quickly hid her head in Lin Yi's arms and said, they kissed, so disgusting, so disgusting. Vomit. Komari next to her simply started retching. Lin Yi was really shocked. Is it really that serious? They just kissed each other. Is it necessary to vomit? Vomit. Lin Yi took a quick look and was also disgusted. Qingru, can we still discuss cooperation after we are drunk? Lin Yi suppressed his nausea and asked anxiously. It seems that I can't. Yi Qingru shook her head vigorously. Can we still continue eating after the couple is drunk? Lin Yi asked again. I can't. Yi Qingru continued to shake her head. How about we withdraw first and come back to discuss this deal another day? Lin Yi suggested. Well. Yi Qingru felt extremely disgusted. If she continued to stay there, she would definitely collapse. Let's go. Lin Yi didn't say much, he pulled Yi Qingru up and left, and at the same time glanced at Komari. If they didn't leave, a horrible scene would appear soon. Lin Yi, I want to go back and wash my eyes. My eyes are injured. I always feel that Sun Chuanwen did this on purpose. He wants to blind my eyes. My eyes hurt so much. As soon as she left the box, Yi Qingru rubbed her eyes hard, with a pitiful expression on her face. Then I'll take you to wash your eyes. Lin Yi was also disgusted. A man with wrinkled skin like an old man hugged and kissed a fat woman who looked no different from a man. This scene was really eye-catching. Vomit. After leaving the box, Komari simply lay down next to the trash can and vomited. Lin Yi and Yi Qingru looked over together. Lin Yi really didn't understand. When she was changing my clothes today, she didn't vomit at all when she did that kind of thing. Just now, she just saw a scene that she shouldn't have seen. Do you have to be like this? Sorry. I have a cold recently. Komari felt that there was something wrong with the look in his eyes, so she explained. Then let's go back together and take cold medicine. Yi Qingru suggested. Good. Komari nodded. If she didn't leave, she would probably vomit again. Walk. After saying that, the three of them walked downstairs. When going downstairs, Lin Yi smiled evilly and pressed the button on his mobile phone. After the button was pressed, the video in the box started recording. They had planned this conspiracy for a long time, and they never dreamed that this would be the result. If Lin Yi hadn't been able to read their minds and knew what they were thinking, he would still be here. So, they all brought this upon themselves. Chapter 48. My eyes are blinded by the spicy smell. Less than 3 minutes after Lin Yi and the others left, the effects of the drugs on Sun Chuanwen and Xiao Wu took effect. Sun Chuanwen and Xiao Wu turned red, and their eyes were full of fire. The size of the two of them was getting bigger and bigger. I can't do it anymore, I can't do it anymore. I'm about to collapse. Mr. Sun, please take me. Xiao Wu, you look so beautiful today, let your brother serve you. Boss Sun, hurry up. I want it, I'm almost dying. The two no longer cared about who was who. Now, they just wanted to vent the poison in their bodies. However, they never expected that a video camera in the box was pointed at them and recorded the entire process. Sister Xiaowu, Mr. Xu is here. Just as Xiaowu and Sun Chuanwen were working hard, the door was pushed open and a waiter walked in. When the waiter saw what was happening inside, he immediately screamed. What did she see? She saw a shriveled old man pressing down on little fifth sister, and doing beastly things to her. Xiao Huan, what's wrong? Xiao Huan? Did someone bully you? Xiao Zhuan's scream attracted a lot of waiters and waitresses, who walked over here together. When they saw the scene in the box clearly, they all screamed. So, little sister Wu and Mr. Sun are a couple. Then, Mr. Sun and Miss Xiao Wu really have strong tastes. This situation should be very attractive. Why do I feel a strong sense of disobedience after seeing it? How disgusting. I can't stand it. My eyes are blind. Several waiters and waitresses stepped back one by one, each showing a look of horror and sweating profusely. They found that they would never dare to watch a certain country's specialty movies again. Too scary, too eye-catching, too disgusting. They really doubted how these two people could do such a thing. If you don't work, what are you doing here? The deputy manager came over at this time and spoke loudly to the waiters. Brother Long, we. The waiters coughed lightly twice, blushed slightly, and then slowly backed away. This is really outrageous. Instead of working, he hid outside the guest box and peeped. This is really unreasonable. Brother Long was angry and took a quick look inside the box. Brother Long was shocked. He actually saw Mr. Sun Chuanwen doing that thing on top of Sister Xiaowu. After all, Brother Long is a senior executive, so he naturally knows about the conspiracy of Xiaowu and Sun Chuanwen, but how did it turn out like this? Didn't it say that when Sister Xiaowu was dating a young handsome guy, Mr. Sun went to deal with Yi Qingru, the chairman of the Oriental Group? But now, how come the two of them are dealing with each other? Boss Sun, little sister Wu, hurry up, all of you come here and pull them apart, quickly. Brother Long shouted loudly to the group of timid waiters and waitresses behind him. 20 minutes later, Xiaowu was carried away, and Sun Chuanwen also woke up. At this moment, Sun Chuanwen's face was pale, his whole body was shivering, and he was lying next to a trash can vomiting violently. When he vomited, his face looked extremely ugly. Boss Sun, actually, Miss Xiaowu is not bad, you don't have to be like this. Brother Long comforted him. I've already vomited so much that even bile is coming out. Is it really necessary to be like this? Not bad. Damn it. I spent so much money to arrange all this, and in the end, When Sun Chuanwen said this, he felt another wave of nausea, and he seemed to feel that mountain of flesh collapsing again. Once that feeling came over him, he really couldn't bear it anymore. Is it easy for him? He arranged it several times, trying to push Yi Qingru down, but failed again and again. This time he thought it would be foolproof, but in the end, he and Xiaowu both drank the medicinal wine, but Lin Yi and Yi Qingru left as if nothing had happened. Brother Long found that he couldn't comfort himself at all, because the scene just now was really cruel, and it almost poisoned him. Fortunately, a brave waiter helped to pull it apart, otherwise, he really didn't know what to do. It must be that guy, it must be that bastard who did it, otherwise, how could it turn out like this? Xiaolong, you go and find out the identity of that guy, I want to kill him. Oh. The more Sun Chuanwen thought about it, the more he felt something was wrong. He was still wondering why that guy was so proactive and even invited Yi Qingru to drink. Now that he thought about it carefully, this must be that guy's conspiracy. Okay. Mr. Sun, I'll make arrangements right away. When Brother Long heard this, he left immediately. However, after less than 2 steps, he stopped again, turned his head and looked at Sun Chuanwen and said, Boss Sun, Xiaowu said something before she left. What did you say? Sun Chuanwen asked blankly. She said, you're not bad. In fact, you can make do with each other. Brother Long looked at Sun Chuanwen and said, get the hell away from me, get as far away as you can. Oh. Sun Chuanwen threw his shoes away, then hugged the trash can and vomited again. Make do. Make do. How can we make do with you in that state? If you keep making do, I will be vomited to death. Fortunately, I ran fast. Brother Long quickly dodged the door and breathed a sigh of relief. If he had been slower, he would have been hit. Fuck you, you dare to play tricks on me. Fine, I'll play with you. Brother Long left, and Sun Chuanwen was the only one left in the box. At this time, Sun Chuanwen picked up his cell phone and was about to make a call. However, when he picked up his phone, a video suddenly popped up on his phone. This video turned out to be the video of him and Xiaowu doing it. In fact, the video was shot very well, whether it was the corners, clarity, or even the movements. It was even more exciting than a certain country's specialty film. Vomit. Sun Chuanwen found himself about to vomit again. He really cursed the guy next door. Wasn't it disgusting enough just now? Suddenly someone sent him a video like this. In the video, he and Xiaowu did the disgusting thing. Mr. Sun, if you don't want the video to leak out, let's talk about it. At this moment, a sentence suddenly popped up at the bottom of the video. Behind this sentence, there was even a name, and the name was Lin Yi. Lin Yi, bastard. Sun Chuanwen held the phone tightly, with murderous intent in his eyes. All this was prepared for Lin Yi and Yi Qingru, but now, it happened to him. What went wrong? Moreover, not many people know about this. How did they know? Chapter 49 Killer. Lin Yi, why are you playing with your phone as soon as you get in the car? Inside the car, Yi Qingru looked at Lin Yi with an angry expression. I sent a text message to a friend. Lin Yi took back the phone and explained with a smile. Male or female? Yi Qingru asked seriously. Of course it's a man. I, Lin Yi, don't know any other women except you, my female friend. Lin Yi opened the river channel at random. Puff. Komari, who was driving, covered her mouth with her hands and laughed, and the car swung and almost ran out of the lane. Lin Yi and Yi Qingru looked at Kumaru together. Why did they feel that Kumaru's expression was weird? Was it really that funny? This was not funny at all. I'm sorry, I just sneezed. I think I have a serious cold. With the help of the rearview mirror, Komari noticed that their expressions were not right, so she quickly found an excuse and said, "Humph. This is my Yi Qingru's man. You have to agree that you are not allowed to meet other women. Do you understand?" Yi Qingru playfully hugged Lin Yi's arm, feeling extremely happy. "Okay, I promise." Lin Yi agreed casually. "In short, during the lease period, I am yours and I will never meet other women." "I say, Lin Yi, how could they do this? They invited us to dinner and did that after drinking? Seeing their appearance gave me goosebumps." When Yi Qingru said this, she thought of what had just happened. As she thought about it, her brows furrowed. "I guess they were just showing off their affection in front of us. But they overdo it. However, I think they are a good match, especially their kissing skills, which can rival those of an Oscar winner." Lin Yi said with a smile. Puff. Yi Qingru covered her mouth and smiled. "You are the only one who can talk." Vomit. As soon as Yi Qingru finished speaking, Komari covered her mouth and retched while driving. "Mamoru-chan, what's wrong with you?" Yi Qingru turned her head and asked curiously. I'm fine. I just caught a bit too much of a cold." Komari hurried to explain. "Are you okay? Otherwise, let Lin Yi drive," Yi Qingru suggested. Judging from Komaro's pale face, it seems to be quite serious. "No. It's okay. I can do it." Komari stopped it immediately. "Is that so? Okay then." Yi Qingru did not force it, and then looked at Lin Yi and said, "Lin Yi, next time, you will be responsible for the business with Sun Chuanwen. I am afraid of encountering something like today." "No problem." Lin Yi nodded confidently. It is indeed not appropriate for a girl to discuss business with such trash, but Lin Yi likes to talk with such people. Then it's settled. Yi Qingru immediately smiled happily, hugged Lin Yi's arm happily, and buried her head in Lin Yi's arms. Sizzle. Just as Yi Qingru hit her head in Lin Yi's arms, the car suddenly made a sharp turn, and the wheels rubbed against the ground with a scream. "R!" Yi Qingru screamed loudly. Puff. Before Yi Qingru could figure out what was going on, the car was suddenly hit twice by heavy objects. Then, the car seemed to lose control and rushed to the side. R. Now it was Komari's turn to scream. The sudden change in front of her made her completely unable to react. What? When Lin Yi saw this, he screamed, "Oh no!" It was obvious that the two cars on the left and right had hit their car at the same time, causing the car to lose control. Buzz. Lin Yi shouted at a bad moment. He heard the sound of a motorcycle, and then saw a man in a black leather jacket and a hat riding a racing motorcycle to their car window, then took out a silencer gun and pointed it at the glass. "Careful!" Lin Yi shouted, stood up immediately, and rushed towards Komari, while turning the steering wheel and then pulling the handbrake. Sizzle. Just as the bullet was about to fly, the car spun on the spot. Boom. R. The killer on the motorcycle crashed directly into the car, and both the man and the motorcycle were thrown more than 10 meters away before they stopped. However, this is not the end yet. The two off-road vehicles behind accelerated and crashed into Lin Yi's car at an extremely fast speed. In this situation, if they were hit, Lin Yi and his companions would all die. R. When they saw the two off-road vehicles colliding with them, both Komari and Yi Qingru screamed, as if they saw their own deaths. Get out of the way. At the moment when both of them were in despair, Lin Yi quickly pulled Kobayashi up, and then sat under her. Kobayashi felt her body go soft, and she found that she was sitting in Lin Yi's arms, and the two of them were almost tightly stuck together. Buzz. However, before Komari could come to her senses, the sound of a motor was heard, and the car that was originally lying across the road suddenly drifted on the spot. The car seemed to drift out, and because the turning force was too great, the car tilted sideways rapidly. Originally 4 wheels were on the ground, but in a blink of an eye, only the left front wheel and the left rear wheel were on the ground, and it rushed forward at a very fast speed. R. When this scene occurred, Yi Qingru and Komari both screamed loudly in the car. What did they see? A 4-wheeled vehicle, moving on 2 wheels. How How did they do that? Boom. Before they both woke up, a huge explosion sounded. Because the car tilted sideways, the two SUVs hit nothing and the front ends of the two cars came into close contact with each other. Yi Qingru and Xiaomai actually saw with their own eyes that the two cars were hit and flew away. After the two cars fell to the ground, flames rolled and blood spilled on the ground like water. Then the other cars on the road stopped, causing a burst of screams and shouts. They felt like they were in a movie. Not only did gunfire occur, but vehicles were also crashed into each other. More importantly, when they were about to die, Lin Yi actually made the car move on two wheels. Not only did he escape death, he even caused the two cars to crash into each other. Lin Yi. How did Lin Yi do it? Who is he and how can he have such perfect driving skills? You know, the two cars were less than 10 meters away from them. In this situation, how could Lin Yi escape danger? Is he a god? That's right, he is God, he is her own male god, he is too perfect to be true. He is so handsome, has a great figure, a great temperament, and is a business genius. Now, even his driving skills are so perfect. Crash. When Yi Qingru and Xiaomai were completely shocked, the car finally resumed moving forward on all four wheels, and then the car rushed forward like the wind. Chapter 50 Shocking the audience. Did you see it? Did you see it? I saw it. There was a car accident, two cars collided, someone died. That's not what I'm talking about. Just now when the two SUVs hit the car, the two cars were moving on two wheels. What? Two wheels? Oh my god. I saw it too. This is incredible. The god of cars. Even the god of cars can't be this amazing. In that situation, there was only one way out, because two SUVs were attacking from both sides, and it was impossible to escape. But the car actually tilted on the spot. Could it be that he had divine help? This is not divine help, but superb driving skills. I know a European racing god who can do this, but he only did it 3 times in his life. However, he died in an accident when he was performing it for the 4th time. I've heard of that car god, his name is Dave. I've also read about him in the news. He seemed to have said that the best he could do was to tilt his car on 2 wheels, but he couldn't walk. But what did I see just now? Not only did that man tilt his car on 2 wheels, but he also walked at least 300 meters. When the car accident occurred, cars passing in both directions stopped, and some drivers who witnessed the accident started talking about it. What they were talking about was not the car accident, but the car that escaped the accident before it happened. Compared to the car accident, the driving skills performed by that car were more exciting. The scene was completely ignited by the discussion, and everyone completely forgot that a car accident had occurred here, and even forgot that people had died in the accident. Not long after, the police finally arrived. In addition to the police, ambulances also began to arrive at the scene, and the voices of discussion gradually died down. Captain, you are here. A police car stopped at the crime scene and a female police officer got out of the car. She had long legs, a delicate look and a domineering demeanor. As soon as she appeared, several policemen immediately came over and saluted the female police officer. What's going on? Shi Yinjie glanced at the tragic scene and asked seriously. Just now, she received a call saying that there was a serious traffic accident on the 3rd Ring Road. The accident was unusual and people even died, so she rushed over as soon as possible. But when she came over, she saw a bloody scene. 2 cars were on fire, blood was everywhere, and 1 person was thrown to death. This was not a car accident, but a horrific incident. Captain, you'd better take a look at this. This video was recorded by a nearby surveillance camera. The police brought a tablet computer and opened a video on it. In the video, a luxury car was driving. Suddenly, 2 SUVs chased after it and hit the car directly. The car immediately deviated from its direction and lost its composure. Then, a man on a motorcycle appeared in the video. After approaching the car, the man took out a gun and shot at the car's glass. When the man was seen killing the people in the back seat, the car suddenly stopped in the middle of the road. As a result, the killer and his motorcycle hit the car and flew out. However, this was not the end yet, as 2 off-road vehicles from behind came and crashed into him. In this case, as long as the car is hit, everyone in the car will die. As a result, Everything was beyond expectations. The car spun in circles, then the left front and rear wheels touched the ground, and the right front and rear wheels were suspended in the air. A four-wheeled luxury car suddenly turned into a tilted two-wheeled vehicle, and at this moment, the two off-road vehicles hit nothing. Because they hit nothing, the two off-road vehicles suddenly collided with each other, flames immediately spurted out, and the cars flew out uncontrollably. After that, we saw the scene before our eyes. How is it possible? After watching the video, Xie Yinjie was completely dumbfounded. In that situation, with two cars sandwiched around each other, there was only one way to go, but in the end that car performed such a perfect acrobatics. Is the person driving the car a god? How could he possibly accomplish such a difficult move? Have you found out the identity of the deceased? Xie Yinjie asked. Obviously, there's more to it than that. The man on the motorcycle is called Sang Biao. He has killed someone and served 3 years in prison. 3 years ago, he was arrested by the police for selling drugs, but he escaped on the way. He has not been prosecuted so far. As for the people in the two SUVs, they are all from Vietnam. More importantly, they have all committed crimes in Yuncheng. The police explained with a wry smile. Now that it has come to this, even a fool would know what is going on. This group of murderers must have gone to kill the people in the luxury car, and as a result, the other party showed off their perfect driving skills. Xie Yinjie fell silent for a moment. Then, who is in the car? Xie Yinjie couldn't help but think of the car. Yi Qingru. The chairman of the Oriental Group, Miss Yi Qingru. The police said. Yi Qingru. The only daughter of the chairman of the Oriental Group, the 22-year-old who inherited the Oriental Group's hundreds of billions of assets. Xie Yinjie was shocked. How could she not know the name Yi Qingru? The youngest rich man in Yuncheng, and also the richest young man. At the age of only 22, she has become one of the top 10 richest people in Yuncheng. More importantly, she is still single. It is said that those who pursue her can circle around Cloud City. Similarly, anyone who wants to take advantage of her can also circle around Yuncheng. Yes, that's her. The police replied. Keep this information secret. If anyone asks about it, treat it as a normal traffic accident. Got it. Xie Yinjie said seriously. Now, even a fool would understand that the other party was clearly here to kill Yi Qingru, but Yi Qingru's driver was too strong. After performing this driving trick, the other party died in the car accident. Yes, Captain. The policeman nodded. Xie Yinjie didn't continue talking, but got into his car, started the car and drove away quickly. Can I come down now? The car drove away, and Lin Yi said to Xiao Mai in his arms. Well. Komari was pale and trembling as she left Lin Yi and sat down on the passenger seat. After sitting down, she hugged her shoulders with her hands, seeming to be terribly cold. Yi Qingru in the back seat did not look any uglier than Komari. Her whole body was trembling, her body huddled together, tears welled up in the corners of her eyes, her mouth moved, as if she wanted to cry but couldn't. Her eyes were trembling as she looked at Lin Yi. She was very afraid that the killer would kill her, but she was even more afraid of Lin Yi's driving skills just now. She really didn't understand how Lin Yi's driving skills could be that good. Chapter 51, Driving Skills Gained from Loach. It's on two wheels, isn't it? Even on TV or in the movies, I've never seen a car that can be turned sideways and move on two wheels. But Lin Yi did it. Then, it was even more incredible. Their car drove away like a stuntman, and the two cars behind them actually collided and exploded. Some people even flew out on the spot, and blood was all over the place. Everything that had happened was still echoing in Yi Qingru's mind, like a dream. She is just a good-looking girl whose family has some money. Although she is usually cold and arrogant, she is actually just a young girl. But when has she ever seen such a scene? Lin Yi, how did you do it? Yi Qingru still suppressed her inner fear, looked at Lin Yi with apprehensive eyes, and asked nervously. Lin Yi paused and glanced at Yi Qingru, but Komari looked at Lin Yi nervously, as if they were both waiting for Lin Yi's explanation. There's no reason. Judging from the time, Sun Chuanwen and Xiao Wu's matter has just been dealt with, and they should still be dealing with the aftermath. There's no reason to send assassins to kill us so quickly. Lin Yi seemed not to hear what Yi Qingru said, but seemed to be talking to himself. What do you mean? What do you mean there's no reason to send assassins to kill us so soon? Yi Qingru was stunned and didn't understand what Lin Yi meant at all. Nothing. Lin Yi shook his head. After what happened, Sun Chuanwen and Xiao Wu did want to kill him, but Lin Yi was sure that after seeing that video and hearing that sentence, they would never dare to do anything wrong. That meant that the murderers were another group of people. Then answer me, when those two cars collided just now, how did you do it? Yi Qingru was eager to know what was going on. Even Superman couldn't do it, but Lin Yi did it. She must know what was going on. She was already dating Lin Yi, and she definitely didn't want Lin Yi to hide anything from her. Lin Yi did not answer immediately, but remained silent for 3 seconds before saying, I grew up in the countryside. Yi Qingru opened her mouth and found that she didn't know how to start. I asked you about your driving skills, but you said you grew up in the countryside. Does that matter? And you answered so seriously, do you need to be so serious? So what? After a moment, Yi Qingru added a sentence, but when she asked, her fists were clenched so tightly that she really wanted to explode. I have loved using a hoe to dig loaches in the fields since I was a child. Lin Yi continued. Puff. Komari, who was originally stunned, couldn't help but cover her mouth and smile. At this moment, Yi Qingru and Lin Yi looked at her together, but Yi Qingru's face was full of murderous intent. Does digging loaches have anything to do with driving skills? This guy is obviously deliberately making fun of me. I'm sorry, I have a cold. It's a bit serious. Komari coughed and excused herself. Lin Yi then retracted his head and continued to explain, every time I go to the farmland to dig loaches, I can dig up a lot. But I don't like to eat them. It just so happens that Uncle Wang in our village likes to eat loaches, so I always give loaches to him to eat. What does this have to do with driving skills? Yi Qingru couldn't help it and said angrily. After Uncle Wang ate my loach, he naturally wanted to repay me, so he taught me how to drive. Lin Yi replied. Is that when you started to practice your driving skills? Kumaro asked in surprise. Yeah, what do you think? Many things need to be learned from a young age. Lin Yi said seriously. Wait, what kind of car did you learn from Uncle Wang? Why did Yi Qingru feel like something was wrong? If you give someone a pound or two of loach, they will teach you how to drive. What car do you drive? Such a cheap tuition fee. A tractor. You don't know, Uncle Wang's tractor is very popular. Many children in the village want to ride it, but Uncle Wang always won't let them. Lin Yi said proudly. Kameko and Yi Qingru had black lines on their foreheads. After all this, you are learning about tractors. You didn't mistake the situation just now for a tractor, did you? Also, can a tractor perform such a difficult move? Lin Yi, I have a question for you. You learned to drive a tractor when you were a child. Why, you were so good at driving just now? Komari said with a shocked expression. Oh. You mean this? Later, I won first place in a racing competition in the county. I was then recommended to study in the provincial capital. After studying there for 3 years, I won more than a dozen championships in more than a dozen countries. Lin Yi spoke without thinking. After such a performance, there must be an excuse. Therefore, Lin Yi made up such an excuse. Look, this is the photo I took when I won the championship. Lin Yi even found a few photos of himself holding the trophy when he won the championship from his mobile phone. You're the world champion. When Komari saw the photo, she almost screamed. World champion. Lin Yi, did you win the championship by driving a tractor? Yi Qingru's eyes, which were full of resentment, were now full of water and admiration. It was incredible that Lin Yi was actually a world champion. No wonder his driving skills were so good. Lin Yi, please teach me how to drive. Just now, you were driving so well. Those two cars were about to hit us, but the car you were driving turned sideways, with 2 wheels moving. Teach me. Yi Qingru forgot her previous fear and asked impatiently. You have to learn how to drive a tractor first. Lin Yi said seriously. Why? Yi Qingru was puzzled. If you can't even drive a tractor properly, how can you drive other vehicles? How can you learn difficult maneuvers? Lin Yi rolled his eyes. Then I want to learn too, I want to learn. Yi Qingru was extremely excited. At this moment, she really wanted to eat Lin Yi. It was simply amazing, so handsome, so charming, and so talented. Now he even drove so well. Such a perfect man became her boyfriend, and she instantly felt like she was about to die of happiness. I want to learn too. Komari also showed watery eyes and spoke fanatically. Lin Yi had no doubt that if Yi Qingru hadn't been there, Xiaomao would have wanted to do that kind of thing of changing clothes in the room again. Okay, everyone has a share. When I'm free someday, I'll teach you one by one. Lin Yi felt that this guy was being too arrogant. I just wanted to find an excuse, but you guys want to learn from me. Can this be learned? Can you learn this kind of driving skill? That's right, female drivers like you can learn it quickly, but the problem is, after you learn it, you'll lose your life. Good. Yi Qingru and Komari raised their hands excitedly and nodded excitedly. Looking at their expressions, Lin Yi shook his head bitterly. He would fill the hole he dug later. After thinking for a while, Lin Yi deliberately changed the subject and said, by the way, Qingru, do you have any special enemies? In other words, the kind of people who want to kill you. At this moment, I thought of what happened to those killers just now. Although they were able to escape danger, what happened this time was too horrifying. If you fail once, you may try again a second time. Enemy? Kill me. Yi Qingru's expectant smile immediately disappeared, and her expression became serious. Although there are many people who want to do something bad to me, these people are basically those who are pursuing me and those who want to take over my company. There are very few people like Sun Chuanwen. As for those who want to kill me, Yi Qingru affirmed.